When a man has no money, he's idle. When a woman has no money, she suffers. The sky was just getting light. In the southern wilderness cultivation realm, in the slum area on the outskirts of Qingyang Market, a wooden door opened, and an ordinary-looking young man walked out. Qin Ming yawned, rubbed his reddened eyes tiredly, and picked up his spiritual hoe to go to work. Before leaving, he glanced back at his neighbor's yard, feeling a surge of anger. In the dead of night, what's with all the noise? Is there no sense of decency? His neighbor was a young female cultivator, quite good-looking, but she often brought male cultivators home, engaging in promiscuous affairs. Last night, she let out ecstatic cries the whole night through. Once I have spirit stones, even if I can't afford a new house, I definitely need to set up a soundproof array first. Qin Ming gritted his teeth, making a silent vow in his heart. The soundproofing of the houses here is indeed terrible. Last night, Qin Ming was meditating and cultivating, but the noise from next door was too loud, causing his thoughts to drift, his qi and blood to surge, and his Tao heart almost wavered. It was truly too dangerous. With no other choice, Qin Ming had to endure an entire sleepless night, and in sync with the rhythm of the shaking bed next door, furiously copied the pure scripture 1,000 times before his mood finally calmed down. Thinking about the endless work in the spirit fields today made Qin Ming even more frustrated. It's been nearly 5 years since I crossed into this cultivation world. When will this kind of life come to an end? In this environment, how am I supposed to cultivate like a damn immortal? Can't even have a decent night's sleep. Being without a golden finger is truly miserable. Before coming to this world, in Qin Ming's understanding, cultivation was supposed to be wandering the North Sea by morning and Kangwu by dusk, flying through the heavens and earth, sword chi stretching for 90,000 miles. But in reality, though cultivation sounds high-end, what good days do low-level cultivators really have? Every day, struggling desperately for survival. The pressure is immense. If it weren't for the original owner of this body being forcibly conscripted by the Spirit Feather Sect from a cultivation clan, ordered here for pioneer tasks, obligated to fulfill 60 years of servitude, it would have been better to find a mundane place to retire, at least to enjoy a few decades of good life. After all these years, Qin Ming has seen reality clearly and finally understands that he is indeed an ordinary person. After all, with his 4-element pseudo-spirit root, without any special opportunities, even if he cultivates to death, he won't reach the foundation establishment stage, wasting away more than 10 years. His cultivation is still stuck at the Qi cultivation second layer, essentially hopeless on the immortal path. It's understandable that the family chose to abandon him and exchange him for resources with the sect. Fortunately, the family had arranged some connections for him early on, so at least he doesn't have to risk his life against demon beasts on the front lines. Qin Ming rented 3 acres of spirit field in the cleared outskirts in the rear, becoming a spirit farmer. And today is the day the spirit rice is harvested. However, there was no trace of joy on Qin Ming's face from the harvest. Instead, he felt a bit anxious inside. Harvest time also means someone from above will come to collect spirit rice taxes. Yo, little Qin-ups so early? Looks like this season's spirit rice is growing well. On his way to the spirit fields, while deep in thought, Qin Ming was greeted by an old farmer-looking cultivator walking out from a nearby alley, smiling at him. The aura of cultivation on this person was much higher than his, at the Qi cultivation 4th layer. Morning, Lao Jiao. Seeing this person, Qin Ming couldn't help but smile a bit. He then sighed and spoke. Don't even mention it. You know, I'm only at the Qi cultivation 2nd layer, and I've only managed to cultivate the spirit rain technique to the beginner level. I can hardly use it a few times a month. This person's name was Kai Jiawu, but the cultivators nearby all called him Kai the Ninth. He was an old-timer in this part of the slum. Qin Ming wasn't clear on his exact origins, only knowing he'd been deeply rooted in this place for over 10 years. Kai the Ninth had dark skin, a wrinkled face, a scraggly beard with a pipe between his teeth, pants rolled up, unkempt, with a spiritual hoe and spiritual scythe slung over his shoulder. He gave more the impression of a beggar than a cultivator. From Qin Ming's interactions, he knew that Kai was actually just over 40 years old. By the way, Lao Jiao, with your Qi cultivation 4th layer, plus the intermediate spirit rain technique, I suppose this year's harvest should be quite good. Qin Ming's words subtly revealed a hint of envy. The spirit rain technique was a spirit plant magic taught to them spirit farmers by the Sect. It released spiritual qi from spirit crystals, spirit stones, or spirit veins into the air, forcibly bringing down spiritual rain. Spirit valleys, spirit rice, spirit fruits, and spirit grasses nourished by the spiritual rain not only avoided being devoured by insects and bitten by rats, but also greatly boosted spirit plant crop yields. Qin Ming never expected that farming would be so closely linked to cultivation level, deeply intertwined. When he practiced the spirit rain technique for half a year, the rain he summoned covered merely 2 yards, and his spiritual power lasted less than half a stick of incense. He felt like dying. Others piss more than that. He, just all right, manageable. After we finish collecting spirit rice today and pay the taxes, why don't we relax with a drink at the Jushuan Pavilion in the market? Kai the Ninth said, smacking his lips, giving a vague answer with a sly look. Nah, that kind of money pit I'll pass. Qin Ming shook his head. Not that he didn't want to go, but he was too broke. Kai the Ninth clicked his tongue. I say, young man, you're really no fun. There are a lot more days ahead, and enjoying occasionally is no big deal. As the saying goes, live in the moment, have wine while it's there. For people like us, why bother with the tiresome pursuit of immortality? Wouldn't it be better to wake up from the big dream early and enjoy life? All right, are you treating us? Get lost. Go away. Before long, a vast mountain range shrouded in mist comes into view. The mountains majestic, and waterfalls cascade down, creating dragon pools with expansive water vapor that looks like an ink painting. On the cultivated hillsides, hundreds of acres of spirit fields are arranged in orderly terraces. With the spiritual energy provided by a Tier 1 spirit vein, planting low-tier spirit valley and spirit plants is more than sufficient. The golden spirit grains in the fields shimmer brilliantly, swaying in the breeze, and the unique fragrance of the spirit rice fills the air, attracting birds from the skies nearby to seek food. Dong! Before the flock of birds could land, a loud bang was heard. The makeshift grass puppet set in the spirit field shook its spirit gong, emitting piercing sound waves that sent the birds flying away in all directions. Qin Ming and his companion followed the mountain path to their own spirit fields and began to busily work. Within the spirit fields, Qin Ming gazed eagerly at one of his plots and couldn't help but twitch his lips slightly, feeling a bit disheartened. In this plot of spirit field, about half an acre of spirit rice was still lush green, completely different from the matured golden spirit rice around it. People who didn't know might think he was growing scallions. He knew very well the reason for this scene. It was due to his lack of proficiency with the spirit rain technique, the low level of the technique, and the insufficient application, leading to an uneven distribution of rain. It seems this season's spirit rice will see a reduction in yield. I wonder if we will get through the tax this time, Qin Ming thought worriedly. Shaking his head, Qin Ming began to harvest the spirit grains. The spiritual scythe cut beneath the rice stalks, and bundles of spirit rice fell, skillfully tied into sheaves by him. This spirit rice could be harvested 3 times a year. As long as the roots were left, it would grow back in a few months for another harvest. Like cutting chives, the sun set in the west. After harvesting the spirit rice and bagging the spirit rice, Qin Ming's mana was completely drained, leaving him exhausted. Just as he wiped his sweat, he heard the sound of a magical artifact cutting through the air from afar. He quickly looked up to see a Siam-leafed armor ship streaking a green light across the sky, slowly descending. A person disembarked from it. The individual was a fat, middle-aged male cultivator, wearing a blue and white robe of the Spirit Feather Sect's outer sect, with a big belly, striding imposingly towards him. This fat man's name was Du Haifu, the overseer of this area of spirit fields. He managed the spirit fields and spirit farmers on this whole mountain. To Qin Ming, he was like a local tyrant. Little Qin is quite efficient. You finished collecting the spirit rice so quickly, Du Haifu said. Du Haifu opened the spirit rice bags in front of Qin Ming, pinching a few grains, first sniffing them under his nose. Casually tossing the spirit rice into his mouth, he chewed slowly, then revealed a satisfied smile. The quality is quite good. It seems you've put in a lot of effort. Du Haifu patted the storage pouch on his waist, taking out a great dipper spiritual artifact, and began weighing. 2 stone, 80 pounds of spirit rice harvested, 70% tax, is 196 pounds. Isn't that wrong? How come you harvested 50 pounds less spirit rice than last season? Du Haifu's smile immediately disappeared. He consulted a booklet. His expression turned cold, and he gazed at Qin Ming. Qin Ming felt a chill and quickly took out a small brocade pouch from his bosom and handed it over. Forcing a smile, he said, "Elder Du, I really apologize. There was a small issue in the spirit field. This half-bag short on spirit rice. Please accept these spirit stones as compensation. Kindly bear with it." Though it pained him, Qin Ming had no choice. Most of his possessions were in that pouch. In reality, the Spirit Feather Sect only required a 50% spirit rice tax, but there's still a steward below, and below the steward are overseers managing the spirit farmers. Layer upon layer of exploitation. In the end, only a pitiful amount reached his own hands. That small bag of spirit stones would most likely end up in Du Haifu's private stash. Du Haifu took the pouch, weighed it in his hand, and knowing the contents, his attitude became much more agreeable. However, he still admonished Qin Ming, "Just this once, don't let it happen again." Saying this, he waved a hand forward, collecting the few large bags of spirit rice into his storage pouch. Qin Ming watched Du Haifu's storage pouch and the cyan leaf flying ship artifact earlier, feeling a touch of envy. Things like this he could never afford. "Do you know how much spirit rice Kai the Ninth paid this season?" Du Haifu suddenly asked him meaningfully. Then he raised 2 fingers, waving them in front of him. "More than double yours. You can't go on like this, kid. Since you understand a bit, I can give you a tip. I just got the news that next time taxes are collected, the Sect steward elders will review the spirit rice tax contributions for the year, and the bottom 10 spirit farmer cultivators will be assigned to the frontline battle camp as reinforcements. Manage yourself well." After saying this, Du Haifu departed without seeing Qin Ming's reaction, leaving Qin Ming standing there in a daze. What? Sent to the battle camp. Nightfall. Qin Ming, carrying the remaining spirit rice, returned to his house. Clatter. He shut the door and then collapsed heavily onto the bed, face up like a dead dog sprawling across. His mind was in turmoil. He stared blankly at the ceiling, recalling Du Haifu's words earlier. He knew very well that with his current spirit rice yield, he'd definitely be among the bottom ranks. The Spirit Feather Sect's battle camp had a high mortality rate, and everyone dreaded it. The term pioneering naturally meant the sect sent cultivators to cultivate wild territories in the Cultivation Realm with no human habitation. These places were often previously occupied by demon beasts or blocked by natural barriers, and always filled with danger. Not to mention some indescribable eerie threats, making regular cultivation a distant dream. Bluntly speaking, the sect needed a lot of low-tier cultivators as cannon fodder to scout the way. Even though being a spirit farmer was tiring, it had the advantage of being stable. This world was full of people struggling for survival. The job everyone despised now turned into his lifeline in this sea of hardships. What to do? I don't want to be cannon fodder in the battle camp. I'm truly unwilling, lost in thought, and perhaps too exhausted from the day's toil. Qin Ming drifted off into a deep slumber. Suddenly, a brilliant and resplendent light flashed across the depths of his soul. Qin Ming had a very long dream. In the dream, there were all sorts of exotic plants. Seemingly influenced by something, they started to grow at an incredible speed, covering the sky. Boom! Then it seemed something exploded inside his mind. The next day, Qin Ming woke up holding his throbbing head, feeling groggy. He got out of bed, drew a basin of water, and went outside to the flower bed to wash up. There were a few dozen spirit rice plants in the flower bed, used for studying plant habits and occasionally practicing the spirit rain technique. But the moment Qin Ming lifted his head to look at the flower bed, he was completely stunned. He saw above 3 of the spirit rice plants in the flower bed. Each had a string of prompts. Name: golden spirit rice entry. Ripening, maturity 100%, can be harvested. Name: golden spirit rice entry. Intermediate spirit rain technique 5 times, maturity 100%, can be harvested. Name: golden spirit rice entry. Weak dharma power, maturity 100%, can be harvested. Qin Ming rubbed his eyes in disbelief, murmuring, "Did I get up too hastily? Did I sleep in a weird position last night?" Qin Ming stared intently at those 3 entries. The golden text flickered in and out of view. After repeatedly confirming without error, he was overjoyed. Golden finger. This is definitely his own golden finger. Qin Ming originally thought that, barring any accidents, his path to immortality would end here in this lifetime. Unexpectedly, hope was reignited once more. Qin Ming suppressed his excitement. Without bothering to wash up, he cautiously approached the 3 spirit rice plants, then surveyed all the plants in the courtyard. He found that only these 3 could display entries. Can I just directly harvest them? Qin Ming reached out and snapped the 3 spirit rice plants at their roots. As he stored away the spirit rice, he saw a flash of green light and 2 white lights emanate from within them, then transform into 3 leaves quietly appearing in his sea of consciousness. The green leaf carried the ripening entry. The white leaves bore the entries weak dharma power and intermediate spirit rain technique 5 times. As long as he willed it, he could use them immediately. Qin Ming returned indoors and shut the door. Sitting cross-legged on the bed, he focused his will on one of the white leaves. The weak dharma power entry disappeared. In an instant, a surge of mana erupted within Qin Ming's dantian, startling him into quickly guiding it by the family-taught longevity technique mana circulation route, transforming this thread of mana into longevity dharma power. Though it's said to be weak mana, I didn't expect it to be so abundant. After a while, feeling the changes happening in his dantian, Qin Ming's face showed the joy of a harvest. The mana in my dantian has grown stronger, equaling 3 months of my usual hard cultivation. He had been stuck at the Qi cultivation second layer's bottleneck for a long time without any progress. Now it seemed to show subtle signs of loosening. If he could get a few more entries like these, reaching the Qi cultivation third layer wouldn't be far off. Even more unexpected was that the entries could be directly stored in his sea of consciousness, to be used at any time, truly convenient. Entries like the one just now, weak dharma power, must be stockpiled if possible in the future. They might just save my life in critical moments. Qin Ming resolved quietly in his heart. Having tasted success, he felt invigorated and couldn't wait to try the effects of the other 2 entries. But he quickly suppressed this urge. Don't get ahead of yourself. Stay calm. It's important to stay calm. I still need to follow my usual routine. With my current low strength, it's best not to let others notice anything unusual. Growing steadily is wise. With that in mind, Qin Ming got up and went to the kitchen to start cooking, using the spirit rice he harvested yesterday. He also stir-fried some delicate side dishes. Usually, after paying his taxes, Qin Ming would sell the leftover spirit rice at the market, living frugally and exchanging it for daily cultivation resources. He couldn't afford to eat spirit rice more than a few times a month. The spirit rice contains spiritual qi, not as much as the entries, but in the eyes of ordinary cultivators, it was considered quite precious cultivation food. After eating, Qin Ming took his spiritual hoe and, as usual, went to his spirit field. He walked around but found something. He observed all the spirit fields and plants nearby, except for his half-acre of not-yet-mature spirit rice, where a single spirit rice plant with a weak dharma power entry flashed. No entries appeared on any other plants. This means only the spirit plants he personally cultivated would generate entries. And entries appeared with a certain probability, which was very low. After all, in that half-acre spirit field, there were at least thousands or tens of thousands of spirit rice, and only one had an entry, an incredibly minuscule chance. 3 plants with entries appeared at once in Qin Ming's flower bed. It's like his ancestors were smiling upon him. Sheer luck. But fortunately, he believed as long as he kept planting, entries would eventually appear. Qin Ming's spirit field is located at the back of the hillside, where few people go besides himself, and a dense bamboo forest provides cover. Usually, the spirit field overseer, Du Haifu, only appears to collect taxes and doesn't come to inspect unless something major happens. Yesterday, the spirit farmers finished harvesting the spirit rice, and no one came to the fields today either. Qin Ming stared at the only spirit rice with an entry in his spirit field, watching it carefully for half a day. He could not distinguish what made it different from the surrounding spirit rice. It was truly bewildering. Seeing no one around, Qin Ming decided to use the other 2 entries. Du Haifu's words yesterday gave him a strong sense of urgency. He absolutely cannot go to the frontline battle camp and die in vain. With his current combat capability, he would be among the weakest of the weak. First, try ripening this half-acre of spirit rice to see what happens. Qin Ming took a deep breath, focused his mind, and used the ripening and intermediate spirit rain technique. The ripening green leaf in his sea of consciousness disappeared, and the intermediate spirit rain technique was reduced to 4 uses remaining. Qin Ming formed a spell with his hand and pointed above the half-acre spirit rice. A gray spirit cloud quickly gathered in the sky above, soon covering the half-acre spirit field entirely. Sizzling softly, accompanied by the ripening effect, spiritual rain continuously fell. The intermediate spirit rain technique is indeed vastly different from the low-level spirit rain technique. The range and spiritual qi conversion effectiveness have greatly increased, and most importantly, it can initially mobilize the spirit vein qi, incomparable. Qin Ming carefully experienced the sensation during casting, treasuring this rare opportunity. Immersing his heart spirit, Qin Ming felt the mana flow of the intermediate spirit rain technique. For a long time, a flash of insight rose in Qin Ming's heart. The real difference lay in the precise control of his own mana and the efficient use of spiritual qi during casting. While casting, the flow of mana was no longer sluggish. Even Kai IX took several years to elevate the spirit rain technique to an intermediate level. This shower of spiritual rain lasted for a full incense stick before it stopped. Of course, Qin Ming's mana was also exhausted. His cultivation level was still too low. His face was pale, his legs felt weak, and his arms lacked the strength to lift a chicken. He sat down heavily, wiping the fine sweat from his forehead. A full incense stick's time. In the past, it was something he wouldn't even dare to dream about, let alone with the intermediate spirit rain technique. I can maintain it for this long now. No longer the mere 3-second drip like before. In that moment, Qin Ming's confidence seemed to return to him. After a brief rest, he stood up to examine the effects of the rainfall. Just half a day passed. The half-acre of spirit rice began to grow wildly at a visibly fast pace, just like the crazed plants in his dreams. This growth speed continued until the plants grew to more than double their original height before slowing down. They were nearly ready to sprout spirit rice ears. This speed is a bit. The ripening effect combined with the intermediate spirit rain technique astonished Qin Ming, making him gasp audibly. I even distributed that ripening effect entry across the entire half-acre. If it was used on just a single stalk of spirit rice, wouldn't it be harvested instantly? It seems that green quality entries are extremely rare. I should be more sparing with them next time. While Qin Ming marveled at his own luck, the entry for that stalk of spirit rice changed as well. Name: Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Weak Dharma Power, 70% maturity. At this development rate, he estimated he could harvest the spirit rice by tomorrow morning. Sure enough, the next morning, when Qin Ming returned to the spirit field, the small half-acre of spirit rice had fully matured. Not only that, but the yield from the half-acre of spirit rice increased by about 20% compared to before. The quality of the spirit rice was better, with every grain plump, translucent, and exuding an enticing aroma. No wonder the intermediate spirit rain technique could directly draw spiritual qi from a spirit vein to fertilize spirit plants. The most delightful thing was that the spirit rice with the weak Dharma power entry had been assimilated into his cultivation. Qin Ming felt a sense of joy and began to look forward to the future. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. During this time, after managing his original 3 acres of spirit field, Qin Ming went to find Du Haifu for supervision and rented another 2 acres of spirit field next to it. After tilling the soil, spirit rice seedlings were planted. The intermediate spirit rain technique entry was used 3 times, with 1 use remaining. Qin Ming gradually grasped some insights into casting the intermediate spirit rain technique. He believed that with diligent practice, it wouldn't be long before he could cast the intermediate spirit rain technique, even without the entry. This was the difference between first-hand experience and blind experimentation. When Du Haifu saw him renting spirit fields, he praised him for finally having an epiphany, putting on a show of encouragement. He was eager to rent out more fields so he could pocket more benefits. Little did he know, Qin Ming was diligently farming to obtain entries. After busying himself for half a month, the 5 acres of spirit field were almost ready. It was just a matter of waiting for the next harvest, with daily care and management being the only task left. Qin Ming finally had some free time. In the next couple of days, he planned to sell part of his spirit rice and purchase some items for cultivation. The 2 urgent things he needed to buy were, first, a storage pouch. Carrying large bags every time he went out was truly inconvenient. Secondly, a soundproof array. Qin Ming changed into a different outfit, shouldered his spirit rice, and stepped out. Oh, fellow Taoist Qin is heading to the market to sell spirit rice? Looks like you had a good harvest. How rare, fellow Taoist Qin. As Qin Ming stepped out, many neighbors greeted him warmly. Weaving through the complex alleys, he reached the main road. At this time, 2 cultivators, a man and a woman, approached from the front. Fellow Taoist Long, fellow Taoist Qin. Qin Ming quickly set down his sack and greeted them respectfully with a cupped fist. The cultivator, surnamed Long, was the only late-stage qi cultivation cultivator in their shantytown area, having broken through to the 8th layer of qi cultivation several years ago. The female cultivator beside him was Li Yanli, Qin Ming's neighbor. Judging by their intimacy, she must have latched onto him. The area's security wasn't very stable, and thanks to fellow Taoist Long's deterrence, the local riffraff didn't dare to cause trouble. The Spirit Feather Sect's large-scale reclamation attracted many low-tier cultivators to come here, along with quite a few tribulation cultivators eyeing the area. Though the Spirit Feather Sect's law enforcement team patrolled outside, incidents of murder and looting still happened occasionally. After fellow Taoist Long acknowledged him with a nod, he left with Li Yanli. In their eyes, Qin Ming was just a low-tier spirit farmer, insignificant and unworthy of notice. Getting any response was solely due to being neighbors. Qin Ming didn't mind. People like late-stage qi cultivation cultivators had every right to be a bit arrogant. Qin Ming watched them walk away, thinking there might be another battle tonight. He sighed inwardly and immediately changed his top priority to purchasing a soundproof array. Before long, the grand archway of Qingyang Market came into view. The market was bustling, with a cacophony of vendors hawking their wares. Following the main road, Qin Ming headed straight for the center of the market, arriving at the back door of a shop. After knocking several times, someone came to open the door. Seeing it was Qin Ming, the person asked him to wait while they went inside to call the shopkeeper. In a short while, a middle-aged man in a white robe with gold thread and vibrant red brocade came out. The shopkeeper was at the 6th layer of qi cultivation, and upon seeing Qin Ming, a low-tier cultivator, he warmly smiled and welcomed him without slight. "You're here to sell spirit rice?" Come, let's talk inside. Entering the backyard, Qin Ming set down the spirit rice and returned the gesture with a bow, saying, "These are what I have, about 100 pounds." The shopkeeper nodded and instructed his staff to inspect the spirit rice and weigh it. A total of 108 pounds of golden spirit rice. I can purchase it at the market rate of 1 low-grade spirit stone for 5 pounds. What do you say? Deal. Qin nodded decisively. He had come here occasionally to sell spirit rice before. This channel was introduced to him secretly by Kai the Ninth. Though he could set up a stall in the market and sell for slightly more spirit stones, it involved fees and was quite troublesome. Here, it was safer and more stable. If you have more spirit rice in the future, you can bring it here, and I'll buy it all. The shopkeeper took out 21 spirit stones and some broken spirit crystals and handed them to Qin Ming. By the way, does your shop sell soundproof arrays? Qin Ming asked before leaving. Of course. The shopkeeper smiled, tapped his storage pouch, and retrieved a simple array set. The low-tier soundproof array is priced at 10 low-grade spirit stones. Qin Ming held the still-warm spirit stones tightly, hesitated, and said, "Can you give me a discount? I'll buy a storage pouch as well." "Sure. The soundproof array is 10 spirit stones. The storage pouch is 12 spirit stones, but I'll charge you only 21 in total with a discount." Transaction complete. Leaving shop. Money goes where it's earned, and there's not a cent to take home. Qin Ming sighed. He then went to nearby stores to purchase some books on spirit plants and daily necessities before hurrying home. The outing expenses were substantial, but Qin Ming believed he would soon earn more spirit stones. Returning to his room, Qin Ming set up the soundproof array, and from now on, no matter how much noise came from the next room, it wouldn't affect him. This is comfortable. The whole world is peaceful now. In the time that followed, all of Qin Ming's thoughts were focused on the 5 acres of spirit field. This directly concerned his future fate. 10 days later, the spirit rice in the spirit field had begun to grow, presenting a lush green scene. Qin Ming immediately ran to the field to check. What he cared about most was what kind of entry would emerge from the 5 acres of spirit field. With a glance, Qin Ming saw 4 entries flashing in the green rice field. Name: Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Weak Dharma Power, Maturity 10%. Name: Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Weak Dharma Power, Maturity 15%. Name: Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Beast Exorcism Technique X5. Maturity 12%. Name: Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Parent Seed Beast Fong Rice. Maturity 10%. New entries have appeared again. Qin Ming was pleased. Aside for weak Dharma power, there were 2 new entries. Unfortunately, it didn't have a ripening entry, he regretted. The Beast Exorcism Technique, which he was familiar with, is also a type of spirit plant technique. When performing the spell with a specially designed bell-shaped magical artifact, it can swiftly deter various demon beasts to protect spirit plants. However, this technique is very difficult to cultivate, more challenging than the Spirit Rain technique, and few people can master it. He assumed that the number behind the entry indicates it can be cast 5 times. Next, Qin Ming focused his attention on the last entry. Beast Fong Rice. Sound familiar? I've seen this somewhere. Qin Ming frowned slightly, trying to recall. Suddenly, a spiritual light flashed in his mind, and he remembered. He patted his storage pouch, and a book appeared in his hand. It turned out to be a spirit plant book given to spirit farmers like them by the Spirit Feather Sect. Qin Ming quickly turned to the last few pages. Beast Fong Rice, a Tier 1 low-grade spirit plant, with grains white as snow, resembling beast fangs. Consuming it can slightly enhance qi and blood, strengthen the body, and harmonize the organs. Its spiritual qi content is 5 times that of golden spirit rice. Golden spirit rice is merely ordinary spirit rice, not ranked. In contrast, Beast Fong rice falls under the category of low-grade spirit plants, which are relatively rare. It is particularly favored by body cultivators, and whenever it appears in the market, it's often sold out immediately. However, the cultivation conditions for Beast Fong rice are rather demanding, requiring the use of the intermediate Spirit Rain technique, to mobilize spirit vein qi for sustained irrigation. Moreover, its maturation period is long, with the poorest quality beast fong rice taking 2 years to mature, and its yield is low. Its price is 10 times that of golden spirit rice, and even its seeds are exceptionally expensive. The Spirit Feather Sect's booklet even highlighted, spirit farmers who successfully cultivate and produce beast fong rice will have their spirit rice taxes halved. Being able to cultivate and produce Tier 1 low-grade spirit plants qualifies one for advancement to become a Tier 1 spirit plant master. This status is far superior to that of an ordinary low-tier spirit farmer. It's the seed of beast fong rice. I'm going to strike it rich. Qin Ming was overjoyed. Now, he must pay even closer attention to these 5 acres of spirit field. In a little over 3 months, it will be time to submit the spirit rice taxes, which will be the real test for him. It directly relates to his personal fortune and survival. During this period, Qin Ming was on high alert, as nothing could go wrong in the spirit field. Qin Ming then meticulously weeded the fields and used up his last intermediate spirit rain technique. Days went by. Qin Ming worked diligently from dawn till dusk. He hoped for the spirit rice to mature quickly. Besides tending the spirit field, he devoted his time to diligently practicing the longevity technique and the spirit rain technique. After fully experiencing the intermediate spirit rain technique 5 times, his mastery in magic had significantly improved, helped by his repeated practice and exploration. Finally, he found that feeling. 1 month later, looking at the spirit cloud covering the 5 acres of spirit field above him, Qin Ming's face lit up with joy. The intermediate spirit rain technique. I've mastered it. From now on, even without relying on entries, he could perform the intermediate spirit rain technique by himself. However, the mana at Qi Cultivation second layer was truly worrying. Despite this, to increase the yield, Qin Ming spared no effort. Every time he cast the intermediate spirit rain technique, he would exhaust every bit of his mana to ensure rain 2 to 3 times a week. Each time he returned home from the spirit fields, he looked pale and drained, barely able to support himself against the wall as he walked. Oh my, fellow Taoist Qin, you can be quite surprising, can't you? Tell the truth. Have you been quietly tending to Li Yanli's business next door lately? Young man, you need to know your limits. Even if your waist is made of iron and your kidneys are made of steel, you can't keep up that pace every day. The neighbors even began to assume he was indulging in wild expenditures. My cultivation is just too low. Every time I cast the intermediate spirit rain technique, I struggle to maintain enough spiritual power. Qin Ming sighed inwardly, responding to these speculations with an awkward smile, offering no further explanation. Staying focused on farming was his true path. Watching the spirit rice in the field grow stronger day by day, Qin Ming felt a comforting smile spread across his face. At least it wasn't all in vain. A little over 2 months later, the spirit rice matured. Name: Golden Spirit Rice Century. Weak Dharma Power. Maturity 100%. Ready to harvest. Name: Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Weak Dharma Power. Maturity 100%. Ready to harvest. Name: Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Beast Exorcism Technique X5. Maturity 100%. Ready to harvest. Name: Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Parent Seed Beast Fong Rice. Maturity 100%. Ready to harvest. Qin Ming collected these 4 stalks of spirit rice, and 4 white leaves instantly appeared in his sea of consciousness. Shortly after, a group of spirit farmers began harvesting spirit rice under the supervision of Du Haifu. When it was Qin Ming's turn, Du Haifu looked at the scene before him and couldn't help but show a hint of surprise. With a glance, he saw Qin Ming's spirit field filled with plump and large gold-hued spirit rice ears, which bent their stalks from the weight. Did you master the intermediate spirit rain technique? Du Haifu turned and observed Qin Ming, and after a brief pause, he surprisingly displayed a touch of appreciation. Somehow managed to learn a while back. All right, very good. Go ahead and harvest the spirit rice. Qin Ming started working swiftly, harvesting the spirit rice. After a whole day of labor, he harvested a total of 8 large bags of spirit rice. Du Haifu began the acceptance check and weighing. Harvested 8 stones and 20 pounds of spirit rice. Tax due is 70%, totaling 574 pounds. Just as he finished speaking, a massive Dharma ship cut across the sky with escape light, stopping steadily in mid-air above the hillside. An old man in a blue robe stood at the bow with his hands behind his back, his expression stern. Standing behind him were 7 or 8 outer sect disciples of the Spirit Feather sect, all standing respectfully. Upon seeing this person, Du Haifu hurriedly bowed, saying, "Greetings, Steward Yu. As per your instructions, this season's spirit rice taxes have been fully collected. Please have a look." Having said that, he carefully presented a jade scroll. Qin Ming also quickly bowed his head in salute. At this moment, in front of Steward Yu, Du Haifu was entirely humble, a stark contrast to his usual assertive demeanor towards the spirit farmers. Although the opponent was just an outer sect steward of the Spirit Feather sect, he was still his superior, so he dared not overstep his bounds. After Steward Yu reviewed the jade scroll, he instructed the disciples beside him to gather all the spirit farmers. There were over 300 people in total. Kai IX squeezed through the crowd to Qin Ming's side, giving him a look, and said, "Younger brother Qin, how is it? How is today's harvest?" Qin Ming chuckled nonchalantly. "Not bad, but you, Lao Jio, weren't very honest. You had a bountiful harvest last season and didn't tell me, keeping it quiet to amass wealth." Well, it was all submitted as tribute," Kai IX said evasively. At this moment, Steward Yu on the Dharma ship surveyed everyone and announced emotionlessly, "The spirit rice tax for the 3 seasons this year has been fully collected. Following the Sect's directive, I'm here to announce an order. The 10 cultivators ranked at the bottom of this year's spirit rice production statistics will be forcibly deployed to the frontline battle camp to supplement manpower, with no exceptions." Steward Yu's indisputable voice sounded like a thunderclap, exploding in the hearts of all the spirit farmers, unable to calm down for a long time. "What? The frontline battle camp? No, it can't be, right? I shouldn't be ranked at the bottom, right? Why wasn't such a matter stated in advance?" All the spirit farmers were immediately filled with anxiety and panic. Steward Yu let out a cold snort, and a pressure from a Qi cultivation perfection cultivator spread out. Everyone immediately fell silent. The spirit rice production for all 3 quarters and the rankings are all here. You can check for yourselves. After Steward Yu spoke, a disciple of the Spirit Feather sect stepped forward, casting a spell at the jade scroll ahead. In an instant, a giant light screen appeared above the heads of the spirit farmers, densely packed text clearly visible. It displayed the rankings from high to low, with the specific production of each season attached at the back. Qin Ming glanced up, quickly finding his name, ranked 156th. Phew! He let out a long breath. Middle ranking. He finally felt relieved. How could it be? 8 stones and 20 pounds. Beside him, Kai IX exclaimed in surprise. A dramatic scene unfolded. The ranking on the light screen, 157th, Kai Jiawu. Kai IX's rank was right after Qin Ming's. To know, in the previous 2 seasons, his spirit rice production had far exceeded Qin Ming's. But Qin Ming's spirit rice production in the 3rd quarter was simply too unbelievable, exceeding his own by a wide margin. If judged by 3rd quarter production alone, he would have been in the top 50. The ones ranked highest were seasoned spirit farmers at mid-stage Qi cultivation. I trust you've all seen clearly. The last 10 board the ship and follow me. Tian Yukai, Zhao Mountain, Lin Chengdong. Those 10 spirit farmers whose names were called instantly turned pale, their hearts like ashes. What awaited them was the cruel frontline pioneering. But faced with Steward Yu's orders, they dared not disobey. These people were taken aboard the Dharma ship by the Spirit Feather sect disciples. I hope you will redouble your efforts in the coming year, continue to diligently farm, and contribute to the sect. Next year, the sect will issue new targets. The next batch to be deployed to the battle camp will be the 30 spirit farmer cultivators ranked at the bottom. Steward Gu's adamant voice lingered long in the ears of everyone. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming pondered. This time, it was the Spirit Feather Sect's failure to notify everyone in advance, resulting in most spirit farmers not knowing there would be deployment to the battle camp. If Du Haifu hadn't reminded him earlier, he definitely would have been in the dark too. Following this incident, next year, there will inevitably be more internal competition among these spirit farmers. After all, no one wants to be a scapegoat on the front line. Qin Ming looked at the 4 entry leaves in his sea of consciousness. An inexplicable feeling of melancholy welled up inside him. Previously, the idea of mastering the intermediate spirit rain technique in such a short time was beyond imagination. But now, it took less than half a year. His experience in cultivating spirit rice also improved significantly. And after paying the spirit rice tax this time, he still had over 250 pounds of golden spirit rice left. Such an amount of spirit rice was more than he could consume alone, and selling it would allow him to accumulate another small amount of spirit stones. With spirit stones, surviving in this environment provided more confidence. But at this rate of development, my cultivation level will soon fall behind. Continuously extracting mana at this high intensity will eventually damage the meridians over time, which would be irreversible. Moreover, now that he had the Beast Fong rice spirit seed, so the cultivation of Beast Fong rice needed to be prioritized, and maintaining the mana operation of the middle grade spirit rain technique for a prolonged period. Qi cultivation 3rd layer was the minimum requirement. I wonder if those 2 weak Dharma power entries can allow me to break through to Qi cultivation 3rd layer. No, I must work harder on farming, definitely producing that ripening entry. The issue of the spiritual rice tax has finally come to an end. Qin Ming temporarily doesn't have to worry about going to the front lines. This time, I must strive to break through to the Qi cultivation 3rd layer. In the quiet little room, Qin Ming sat on the straw-woven mat on the bed, his eyes slightly closed, holding a low-grade spirit stone in hand, its spirit charm rapidly fading. In an instant, the spiritual energy within the stone was gradually absorbed by him. Qin Ming opened his eyes, his expression somewhat unsightly. With just a slight grip, the stone in his hand turned into a pile of powder. Alas, using spirit stones for cultivation is a complete waste for me. A bit extravagant. In the cultivation world, the external spiritual energy between heaven and earth and the spiritual energy within the stones are equivalent to being wild. Chaotic and complex, low-tier cultivators cannot directly control it. To convert it into one's own mana, the cultivator's spirit root must absorb it, combined with continuous practice and transformation. To tame and transform external spiritual energy into one's own mana. And the aptitude of the spirit root directly affects the efficiency of this absorption and transformation. Qin Ming shook his head. Entries are still the best. The weak Dharma power within the entries doesn't need to be absorbed and refined through the spirit root, and he can use it directly. This time, he planned to use 2 weak Dharma power entry leaves to attempt a breakthrough. 2 weak Dharma power entries are equivalent to half a year of bitter cultivation for me. He calmed his heart and mind, dispelling distractions. Qin Ming focused his thoughts, and the first weak Dharma power entry was used up. Even though Qin Ming was accustomed to it, when the continuous influx of mana came like a tide, it still caught him somewhat unprepared. The surging mana began circulating within his body under the guidance of longevity technique, flowing endlessly, continuously, returning to the Dan Tian. Longevity technique, passed down from Qin Ming's cultivation clan, was not an advanced technique considered mainstream. It primarily focused on health preservation, with long and smooth qi lines, moderate power, and slow cultivation speed. But it also had an advantage that when cultivated to a profound realm, it had the effect of extending life. As the main cultivation technique, it provided slightly more lifespan and mana compared to cultivators of the same tier. Switching to different techniques midway was ineffective. This was quite in line with Qin Ming's character. Farming, nurturing plants, replenishing the spirit, returning to nature's embrace, isn't this nice? Why must there be fights and struggles? And in the end, it all amounts to nothing, alas. But that's just the sentiment. Over the years, Qin Ming has had other realizations. The resources in the entire cultivation realm are limited. Techniques, artifacts, spiritual materials, pills, and other resources are all controlled by renowned sects. Major sects and strong cultivators eat meat, while loose cultivators find it difficult to even drink soup and can only survive in the gaps, unless one is a natural prodigy. Otherwise, without moving up, the path of immortality would see little progress. Even cultivation sects like the Spirit Feather sect, sparing no effort, crossing unimaginable distances, making a journey of thousands of miles to reclaim wasteland. Isn't it all for cultivation resources? Qin Ming used up 1 weak Dharma power entry. Yet his faintly loosened bottleneck still showed no reaction. His brows furrowed, his expression serious. Resolutely, he continued using the remaining weak Dharma power entry. For a long while, 2 continuous weak Dharma power entries were exhausted, but still no breakthrough. This is the gap in aptitude and talent. Qi cultivation, 2nd layer peak. Qin Ming is still a bit short of reaching the Qi cultivation 3rd layer. If someone else were in my place, considering the mana provided by the previous weak Dharma power entries, they'd probably have broken through by now. However, Qin Ming did not lose heart. If it were before, with the usual cultivation method, who knows when there would be any progress. The current situation is already much better compared to before. Although the cultivation level didn't break through this time, his Qi Sidan Tian has broadened significantly. The mana within his body has increased by 1/3 compared to before. And now he's just 1 step short, although it will require enduring a bit longer. I can't continue this way. I need to adjust my approach. Once the beast fong rice is planted and cultivated, perhaps I could try the body refining technique. At least it might enhance my ability to protect myself. However, given my current level of spirit plant cultivation, planting beast fong rice likely requires cooperation with a ripening entry, otherwise it's uncertain whether I will succeed. If I fail, then I've wasted the mother seeds of beast fong rice, which wouldn't be worth the cost. Qin Ming pondered thoroughly. He already had a plan in mind. Ending his cultivation, he got up to prepare a meal. After breakfast, Qin Ming headed out and returned to Qingyang Market. Jushuan Pavilion. It was still the shop located in the center of the market. Aside from operating a restaurant on the 1st and 2nd floors, it conducted various other businesses on the upper floors. One could assume that the backing for a business in such a prime location wouldn't be too weak. The shopkeeper's surname was Liao, and upon seeing Qin Ming, displayed a standard professional smile. Qin Ming was straightforward, tapping his storage pouch, causing 2 large bags of spirit rice to appear on the ground before him. Shopkeeper Liao was quite surprised at Qin Ming's ability to produce so much spirit rice at once. It was 1 bag more than the last time. From what he knew, Spirit Feather Sect levied a tax rate of 70% on these spirit farmers, meaning this young spirit farmer must have harvested at least 8 stones of spirit rice this season. It proved the opponent's level in spirit plant cultivation. Only experienced spirit farmers could achieve such quantities. Otherwise, it indicated exceptional talent in the path of spirit plants. If it were the latter, there might be potential for advancement to Tier 1 spirit plant master in the future. The clerk in the shop completed the inspection and weighing process. Shopkeeper Liao showed a gentle smile, simultaneously raising his appraisal slightly of Qin Ming's position as a low-tier spirit farmer. A total of 220 pounds of golden spirit rice. Fellow Taoist Qin, as per usual, here are 44 spirit stones. Are there any items you wish to purchase in our shop? Our shop is well stocked. Whatever you seek, we can provide. Qin Ming was prepared. He pulled out a drawing from his chest, depicting a small bell, then handed it to shopkeeper Liao, saying, "I want to customize a bell like this one. Let me know if it's possible." "Certainly, fellow Taoist Qin," Is it perhaps a custom spirit bell for the beast exorcism technique? We have a dedicated artifact refining shop and conveniently have it in stock. Low-grade spiritual artifact, Beast Roar Bell, special price, 10 spirit stones. Shopkeeper Liao presented a palm-sized spirit bell, smilingly introducing it to Qin Ming. It automatically contracts and expands when used in conjunction with the beast exorcism technique. Such a low price? This price took him by surprise. He was prepared to spend a significant amount. Fellow Taoist Qin might not know. The key to the beast exorcism technique lies in mastering the magic. This bell is merely an auxiliary tool. A word of caution, fellow Taoist Qin. The beast exorcism technique is extremely difficult to practice. Previously, several cultivators from the Spirit Feather Sect battle camp custom ordered this, but only a few mastered it completely. Qin Ming understood his implication. Simply put, it has no buyers. If the technique isn't mastered, the custom spirit bell becomes a mere ornament, thus wasting spirit stones, a blood loss. But for Qin Ming, the inability to learn it doesn't exist. He paid the 10 spirit stones, accepted the spirit bell, and asked another question. Do you have pills for increasing Qi cultivation stage cultivation? Qin Ming was still somewhat reluctant about not breaking through to Qi cultivation 3rd layer. Yes, please come to the 3rd floor. Moments later, Qin Ming exited the shop with a usual expression. He carried 40 spirit stones and couldn't spend them, as the prices on the 3rd floor for cultivation advancing pills start at no less than 60 spirit stones each. Shopkeeper Liao warmly escorted Qin Ming out of the shop. On the way back, Qin Ming paid a visit to Supervisor Du Haifu, intending to rent another acre of spirit field. Given his current cultivation, his energy was limited. 5 or 6 acres were already his limit. Oh, little Qin is here. You arrived a bit late. Just a while ago, all the spirit fields on the mountain were rented out without a single plot left. Du Haifu sipped his tea, calmly delivering the news. Qin Ming thought to himself, this isn't good. Indeed, it's just as I suspected. Next year, it seems everyone will be fighting desperately for spirit rice yield. The area opened up by the Spirit Feather Sect in the Yunza Wilderness is located at the heart of the southwestern region of the Southern Wilderness Cultivation Realm, a place rarely visited by people. The winter here is exceptionally cold. If Qin Ming hadn't crossed over to the Cultivation Realm, he wouldn't have known that cultivators could also be afraid of the cold. They also need to eat, drink, and take care of other necessities. At 3 a.m., a light snow began to fall over the shantytown. The alley was very desolate, with only a few sparrows foraging in the trash piles. After the onset of winter, the spirit fields enter a brief 2-month rest period. The next season's spirit rice will be sown before the Qin Ming festival. Otherwise, encountering frosty winds will result in a higher rate of empty husks. Despite the cold, this chill brings a sense of security. The change of seasons reminds Qin Ming that the warmth of early spring is drawing near again. Qin Ming was clearing the snow at his doorstep. Creak! The wooden door of his neighbor Li Yanli opened with a sound. She came out wearing a peach blossom pink jacket, exuding a charming grace, a unique rouge scent wafting from her, carrying a wooden basin to dump out her washing water. Good morning, fellow Taoist Li. Seeing her come out, Qin Ming showed a slight smile and greeted her. Good morning, fellow Taoist Qin. You are indeed a diligent person, Li Yanli said with a faint smile. I heard from others that the yield of fellow Taoist Qin's spirit rice last season was quite impressive. You must have sold quite a lot of spirit stones, right? It was mainly good luck. After exchanging greetings, Qin Ming was about to head back inside, but his female neighbor called out to stop him. Please wait, fellow Taoist Qin. Li Yanli's face showed a hint of shyness as she spoke, somewhat embarrassed. In the past few days, I've been quite noisy over here, disturbing your rest. If you don't mind, would you like to come into my house? I can offer you a free one-time service. This. Qin Ming was taken aback, his face turning red in an instant. Truth be told, as a young, vigorous man, how could he withstand such a test of human nature? Isn't it too soon for the warmth of spring to arrive? He thought. Or is the economic environment just that bad? Doing morning exercises this early in the morning. Stay calm, stay calm. It's likely that this woman's not craving his life, but rather the spirit stones in his pocket. Qin Ming's Tao heart began to waver again. Suddenly, a powerful image of fellow Taoist Long, a Qi cultivation 8th layer cultivator, flashed in his mind. Can't afford to provoke. Can't afford to provoke. Better let this pass. Qin Ming quickly calmed down. Thank you for your kind offer, fellow Taoist, but I've been having some back pain these past few days from turning the soil in the spirit fields. With that, he hurried back inside without another word. Charming skeletons disturbing my Tao heart. Qin Ming quickly washed his face and, while lost in thought, knock, knock, knock. There was a knocking sound at the door. Could it be? Is someone delivering themselves to my doorstep, he wondered. Such a tempting thing, quite enticing. If that's the case, then, I'll have to face it head-on. Qin Ming opened the door, only to find Kai the Ninth. He glanced around to confirm there was no one else, then casually said, "Why is it you?" Kai the Ninth, carrying 2 packages, initially had a cheerful expression which froze upon hearing this, leaving him stunned. He glanced around and became displeased. "Seriously, I've been wondering, why can't it be me? I brought you a pot of sweet potato liquor I brewed myself, out of goodwill." "Fine, then I'm leaving." Kai the Ninth turned to leave. Qin Ming immediately apologized. Hey, that's not what I meant. Come in and have a seat." Only then did Kai the Ninth hand over the pot of liquor to Qin Ming, speaking in an irritated tone. "Sit for what? You don't even know there's a new neighbor nearby?" Qin Ming took the liquor with a puzzled look on his face. New neighbor? Seeing his expression, Kai the Ninth realized that this guy must have been cooped up indoors for too long, leaving him out of touch with the news. He sighed, pointing at Qin Ming. I don't even know what to say about you. A few days ago, a new cultivator moved into the alley, a genuine alchemist. Alchemist. Within the 100 skills of cultivation, the art of pills, tools, symbols, and formation stand out. For cultivators, pills are extremely important cultivation resources. Whether it's for daily cultivation or breaking through bottlenecks, curing illnesses, healing injuries, prolonging life, enhancing youth, and so on. There's always a need to seek out an alchemist. Building a good relationship might prove useful one day. But how could a person like an alchemist move to the shanty town? Qin Ming wondered, somewhat puzzled. After all, studying alchemy is truly a burning spirit stone endeavor. Cultivating an alchemist, regardless of how good the talent is, requires a large number of spiritual materials. That's something only large sects can afford. Smaller sects simply can't afford it. He should be just an ordinary alchemist who hasn't advanced to a tier, right? I heard it's just a temporary residence for a year. The specific reasons haven't been disclosed. Hurry and prepare some gifts. We'll go together to visit and get familiar. Kai the Ninth urged impatiently. So, you just gave me a bottle of wine along the way? I'm only benefiting from the presence of that alchemist. Qin Ming was speechless. In a short while, the two walked across several alleys. Arrived in front of a house, Kai the Ninth knocked on the door. After a moment, the wooden door opened from inside. A young man in his 20s, dressed in white, appeared in front at the Qi cultivation 5th layer. Qin Ming and his companion didn't expect him to be so young. Having heard of an alchemist fellow Taoist moving in, the two of us have come to pay a visit, to get familiar since we'll be neighbors, Kai the Ninth said casually. After exchanging pleasantries and introducing themselves, the two presented the gifts they had. Qin Ming gave 5 pounds of spirit rice. Kai the Ninth had spirit rice, as well as a bottle of his self-brewed wine. A small token, not much of a courtesy. The young man in white accepted the gifts, stepped aside, and invited the two inside. Please, fellow Taoists, don't be too formal. I am Su Yuqing. Here's a little something. The young man in white took out 2 ordinary jade bottles, handed them to the two, respectively. Qin Ming politely accepted the jade bottle and glanced at it briefly. Inside was a Qi recovery pill for the Qi cultivation stage, to help cultivators swiftly regain mana. Low-grade Qi recovery pills are priced at 5 spirit stones per pill. Indeed, alchemists are extravagant with their gifts. In contrast, Qin Ming and Kai the Ninth exchanged glances, feeling somewhat awkward. Compared to the other's return gift, their spirit rice seemed somewhat inadequate. Feels like we just came to freeload on pills. Fortunately, Master Su didn't mind. I am indeed an alchemist, having just recently advanced to a Tier 1 middle-grade alchemist. Out for some fresh air. Master Su spoke with a hint of pride. Alchemists hold esteemed positions. Even if they're just ordinary, not yet tiered alchemy apprentices, being able to concoct some basic pills would provide a considerable spirit stone income. Not to mention being a Tier 1 middle-grade alchemist. Such cultivators are welcome guests in any force. Moreover, with Master Su being so young, he surely possesses outstanding talent in alchemy, likely to continue progressing. Limitless potential, a promising future. Such individuals are often targets for recruitment by major forces. Not something small figures like Qin Ming and Kai the Ninth could get acquainted with easily. Destiny and social positioning are simply on different levels. So Master Su is indeed a Tier 1 middle-grade alchemist. Our apologies. Please pardon our earlier intrusion. Kai the Ninth and Qin Ming quickly bowed. Master Su sat calmly in the chair, sipped some tea, looking quite self-satisfied, waved off casually at the two. Just then, someone else walked in from outside, making the three turn to look. It was actually fellow Taoist Long, who had also arrived. Master Su rose to greet him. Fellow Taoist Long respectfully cupped his hands. After greeting fellow Taoist Long, in front of Qin Ming and his companion, handed 2 jade boxes to Master Su as a visiting gift. A Tier 1 mid-stage demon beast core, along with Xianling grass. A smile appeared on Master Su's face. He patted his storage pouch, retrieved an exquisite jade bottle, and handed it to fellow Taoist Long as a return gift. 2 spirit gathering pills. They can increase Qi cultivation stage cultivation and are effective for later stage cultivators as well. After that, fellow Taoist Long and Master Su started to enthusiastically chat, completely ignoring the presence of Qin Ming and Kai the Ninth. A little while later, Qin Ming and Kai the Ninth said their goodbyes and left, both showing somewhat displeased expressions. It was too presumptuous. Why didn't you tell me before coming that Master Su is so young and a middle-grade alchemist? How was I to know? Don't call me next time for such matters. The seasons change, and spring brings warmth and blooming flowers. Qin Ming's 5 acres of spirit field have been tilled, and spirit rice has been replanted. This time, he used the mother seed beast fong rice entry he obtained last time. The seed contained in this entry is just enough to plant 1 acre of spirit field. This year, there's a tense atmosphere among the spirit farmers. Each one is working desperately, afraid of falling behind. Du Haifu patrolled the hillside, nodding with a satisfied expression. Time flies, and 2 months pass in the blink of an eye. The spirit rice in Qin Ming's spirit field starts to grow tall. Yet, he sits by the ridge, staring blankly at the field, looking distressed and gloomy. The good news is that under the constant enhancement of his intermediate spirit rain technique, the golden spirit rice in the 4 acres of spirit field is growing well, and 3 entries have emerged, including the ripening entry that he was longing for. Name, Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Ripening, maturity 26%. Name, Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Weak Dharma Power, maturity 35%. Name, Golden Spirit Rice Entry. Weak Dharma Power, maturity 28%. The bad news is that the 1 acre of beast fong rice he planted has shown no response, not even a sprout. What's wrong exactly? I planted according to the Spirit Plant book, didn't I? And also used the intermediate spirit rain technique enough. Am I going to suffer a big loss this time? Another 2 months pass. The first season's spirit rice harvest is completed. Qin Ming's acre of beast fong rice is still barren, with nothing growing. This season, 7 bushels and 30 pounds of golden spirit rice were harvested. In Qin Ming's sea of consciousness, there is now 1 more green, ripening entry, and 2 white, weak Dharma power entries. When Du Haifu learned that Qin Ming had planted beast fong rice in that plot, instead of blaming him, he patted his shoulder and advised him patiently. Little Qin, isn't it good to honestly plant your golden spirit rice? Why waste spirit stones in vain? This beast fong rice, let's not even mention you. Even Tier 1 spirit plant masters in the sect rarely succeed in cultivating it. The risk is too great, don't aim too high. Beast fong rice generally sprouts in 3 months, but yours hasn't shown any sign after 4 months. It's difficult. Your current ranking for this season's spirit rice yield is over 200. Qin Ming is not too worried about ranking now, since he has entries in hand and is confident. However, he is a bit unwilling about this beast fong rice. He worries about what to do if he uses the ripening entry and it still doesn't grow. That would really be a situation of losing money and troops. One peaceful day, Qin Ming still decided to use his only ripening entry on that acre of beast fong rice spirit field. After a long time, in Qin Ming's anxious eyes, a tender green shoot breaks through the soil. Success! Qin Ming's eyes gleamed with golden light, and he let out a long breath, relieved. Soon, the spirit rice seedlings of beast fong rice grew rapidly until they reached about 2 inches high and stopped. Then the ripening effect within the spirit field gradually faded, and the terrifying growth speed of the beast fong rice ceased. It seems that the higher the grade of the spirit plant, the more ripening entries are needed. This time, I'll just have to wait slowly, as the minimum maturity period for beast fong rice is 3 years. I'll keep planting golden spirit rice for now. If I get lucky and another ripening entry appears, I can harvest a batch of beast fong rice early. It took so long without sprouting, I thought the seeds had gone bad. Qin Ming also has some expectations about what entries the Tier 1 spirit plant beast fong rice will refresh. He gazed at the spirit field, where 3 entries glistened brightly. Name: Beast fong rice entry, high-level spirit rain technique, X5, maturity 7%. Name: Beast fong rice entry, quality enhancement X1, maturity 5%. Name: Beast fong rice entry, ripening X5, maturity 5%. It's happening, it's happening. Ha ha ha. Qin Ming excitedly leaped up from the ridge. These 3 entries are too sharp. High-level spirit rain technique, used specifically for cultivating higher-grade spirit plants, with rain effects far exceeding the intermediate spirit rain technique. Most importantly, any spirit plants watered by the high-level spirit rain technique, as long as they are below Tier 1 high-grade spirit plants, will have their harvest yield doubled. Among them, no one in this group of spirit farmers has mastered it yet. Only a few spirit plant masters from the Spirit Feather Sect can perform it. 10 days later, Du Haifu stared in astonishment at Qin Ming's spirit field. After repeated inspection, he looked at the spirit rice sprouts mingled with distinctive red stripes in the spirit field, and confirmed that these were undoubtedly the leaves of beast fong rice. You really managed to cultivate it, kid. Du Haifu examined Qin Ming with a complex expression, momentarily at a loss for words. A few days later, Qin Ming went out again. With the successful cultivation of beast fong rice, it's just a matter of time now. First, I need to find a body refining technique. The cultivation realm is ever-changing, and the world is unpredictable. My spirit roots aptitude is too poor, and my cultivation speed is slow. I must acquire some means of protection. Qin Ming's goals were clear, understanding the need to prepare for unforeseen dangers. Qingyang Market. In the center of the market is Jushuan Pavilion. Fellow Taoist Qin is here. Shopkeeper Liao greeted him warmly with a smile. Fellow Taoist Qin, please come to the private room on the 4th floor. We can chat over a drink. Someone, prepare a pot of top-grade spirit mist tea. After more than a year of interactions, although Qin Ming had only visited Jushuan Pavilion a few times, the quantity of spirit rice he sold each time had steadily increased. Needless to say, the other party was evidently a seasoned spirit farmer with stable yields. As the shopkeeper of Jushuan Pavilion, he naturally had a good eye for people. Moreover, Shopkeeper Liao learned some news a couple of days ago that surprised even his usually calm and experienced self. Qin Ming followed shopkeeper Liao upstairs, looking around the grand and spacious suite, elegantly decorated with a quaint charm. He was somewhat surprised. He still routinely took out 2 large bags of golden spirit rice from his storage pouch and placed them in front of him. The usual rules: 2 bags, shopkeeper, please weigh them. Shopkeeper Liao smiled faintly, quickly weighing and verifying them. 2 stones and 10 pounds of golden spirit rice. Fellow Taoist Qin, here are 70 spirit stones. Please check them. Qin Ming frowned. Why were there so many extra spirit stones? He asked in confusion, Shopkeeper, what does this mean? Shopkeeper Liao quickly explained, recently, spirit rice in the market is about to increase in price, likely within these few days. Since fellow Taoist Qin is a regular customer, I took the liberty of paying you at the increased price. Increased prices? Shopkeeper Liao, hasn't the market for golden spirit rice always been stable? How did the price suddenly increase? Did something happen? Qin Ming asked in surprise, calmly trying to find out more. Shopkeeper Liao handed the spirit stones to Qin Ming and glanced out the window. Then he took out a soundproof talisman, cast a soundproof shield inside the room, and cautiously said, The battle camp on the front lines of the Spirit Feather Sect discovered a utopian place deep in the Yunza wilderness, where there is a complete Tier 3 spirit vein. Tier 3 spirit vein? Qin Ming, as a low-level cultivator, had only read about it in books, and his heart was instantly stirred. But that place is inhabited by a barbaric tribe of several thousand people, and the barbarians there are fearless in battle, brave and skilled. Their cultivation techniques are very different from ordinary cultivation sects, and the Spirit Feather Sect has suffered great losses on the front lines. Originally, they intended to contact the sect for reinforcements, but the message was leaked midway and was intercepted by Golden Cloud Valley. That's a Tier 3 spirit vein. Naturally, Golden Cloud Valley was envious and immediately dispatched a large number of their disciples to attack and destroy the Spirit Feather Sect's teleportation array to Qingyang Market, and thus severed the supply line between the Spirit Feather Sect and Qingyang Market. Shopkeeper Liao observed Qin Ming's shocked reaction, as expected, and continued. With such a long supply line, the Spirit Feather Sect will surely suffer a great deal this time. The conflict between the Spirit Feather Sect and Golden Cloud Valley this time will not be resolved quickly, whether in 3 to 5 years or even decades. Therefore, not only the daily living materials like spirit rice and meat will rise, but other cultivation resources will also increase in price. Qin Ming listened to shopkeeper Liao's words, unable to recover for a long time, a foreboding sense of impending storm lingering in his heart. No wonder the Spirit Feather Sect is even sending spirit farmers to the front lines recently. I heard that the barbarians are very skilled at controlling demon beasts, and a group of demon beasts slipped through the frontline defenses of the Spirit Feather Sect, their whereabouts unknown. Fellow Taoist Qin, please be more cautious when you go out lately, and avoid traveling far. After saying this, shopkeeper Liao invited Qin Ming to take a seat. Come, try this spirit mist tea from Yunza Wilderness. It's quite beneficial even for the qi cultivation stage. Qin Ming politely accepted the tea and took a sip. The fragrance lingered in his mouth, its spirit charm delightful. Qin Ming knew that shopkeeper Liao had laid so much groundwork, presenting a show of goodwill towards him. Next, they would likely discuss important matters. Qin Ming pondered in his heart. It seems that the connection behind shopkeeper Liao is probably not ordinary. Such matters related to the top echelons of sects in the cultivation realm can even be heard in advance. Getting along well with him might not be a bad thing. Thank you, shopkeeper Liao, for letting me know. Is there anything else? Qin Ming asked. Shopkeeper Liao flashed a smile and suddenly said meaningfully, fellow Taoist Qin is really quite low-key. I have an inconvenient request. When the Beast Fong rice matures in 2 years, could you sell a portion to our shop? Our pavilion can purchase it at a price 10% higher than the market rate. Qin Ming was taken aback. It was only a few days, yet the other party even knew about this. Shopkeeper Liao is truly omnipotent. Even the matters in the spirit fields can't be hidden from you. Qin Ming didn't immediately agree. The beast fang rice seeds have indeed been planted, but I can't guarantee they will mature and be harvested in 2 years. It turns out Shopkeeper Liao just paid him spirit stones based on the increased price of spirit rice and revealed so much information about the spirit feather sect. He actually wanted to use the cost of paying 20 or 30 extra spirit stones to directly buy out Qin Ming's Beast Fang Rice channel. No wonder he's a seasoned business person. Of course, if fellow Taoist Qin has other conditions, they can naturally be negotiated. Shopkeeper Liao watched Qin Ming's reaction and immediately poured him tea. Although fellow Taoist Qin is young, he has such accomplishments in the spirit plants, surely endowed with unusual talent. Harvesting the beast fang rice is bound to be a sure success. I wonder if your pavilion sells body refining techniques. Qin Ming pondered for a moment, then suddenly asked. Shopkeeper Liao naturally understood instantly. He directly took out several body refining techniques and introduced them to Qin Ming one by one. The 9 Revolutions Rejuvenation Technique, a top-tier body refining technique, can be cultivated all the way to the foundation establishment stage, highly young and rigid, priced at 3,000 spirit stones. Qin Ming pursed his lips, thinking to himself, the technique is good, but the price is quite daunting. The Bright King Body Tempering Technique can open up 270 acupoints throughout the body, condensed True Gang, a high-tier body refining technique, priced at 1,000 spirit stones. The Vajra Forging Yuan Technique, a middle-tier body refining technique, can achieve minor success in 30 years, priced at 500 spirit stones. Shopkeeper Liao talked until his mouth was dry, took a sip of tea, and continued. The Celestial Slayer Demon Summoning Scripture, priced at 80 spirit stones. Wait a moment. Shopkeeper, please focus on introducing this technique. The Celestial Slayer Demon Summoning Scripture. This technique is good. It sounds very positive. I'll go with it. Shopkeeper Liao. Qin Ming pondered for a long while and made a resolute decision. This is a demonic cultivation technique. Once cultivated, everyone will wish to exterminate you. Shopkeeper Liao replied. Then why are you selling it to me? Sorry, I took out the wrong one. An hour later, Qin Ming left Jushuan Pavilion. The techniques Shopkeeper Liao were either completely unaffordable based on Qin Ming's current assets, or took decades to see results once cultivated. No way to acquire techniques. Qin Ming could only look on helplessly. However, Shopkeeper Liao finally pointed him in the right direction. Fellow Taoist Qin, there's a Ruan family in the eastern district of Qingyang Market. They have fallen on hard times, but their ancestors passed down a body refining technique. I once offered 100 spirit stones to buy this technique, but that fellow Taoist Ruan refused to sell unless some pills or herbs to enhance qi blood were added. I think it's not worth it. Maybe you could give it a try. But don't get your hopes up too high. Implied by Shopkeeper Liao, Qin Ming had the beast fang rice, which was about to succeed in cultivation. Perhaps offering it might sway the other party. As a return for this information, he agreed to sell a portion of beast fang rice to Jushuan Pavilion when it matured. The deal was concluded. Both parties were delighted. He had just left the shop when he encountered a large patrol team from the Spirit Feather Sect, rushing out of the market in a hurry. They seemed ready for anything, exuding a powerful aura. Hello, fellow Taoist. Can you tell me what's happening? Qin Ming casually asked a passerby who was watching the commotion. It seems they're going to kill a demon beast, right? But don't worry, within our market, it's very safe. Even a foundation establishment stage demon beast can't break through the Tier 2 defense array of the market. Fellow Taoist just needs not to wander around. Qin Ming thought for a moment. Then he followed Shopkeeper Liao's directions to the Ruan family in the eastern district of the market. But upon arrival, he found the gates of the Ruan family tightly closed. The cultivators living nearby told him that fellow Taoist Ruan had gone to handle affairs and wouldn't be back for 3 or 4 months. Qin Ming grudgingly decided to return at a later time. Back in the Shack district. Evening. Inside his dwelling, Qin Ming was preparing dinner, feeling somewhat distracted. Qingyang Market indeed was quite safe, but the defense array didn't extend to their shack district. Knock, knock, knock. Just then, a series of knocks interrupted his thoughts. Qin Ming vigilantly opened the door. To his surprise, the visitor was fellow Taoist Long. Unexpected indeed. Truly a rare guest. Fellow Taoist Qin, I heard the yield and quality of your spirit rice here are quite good, and I'd like to purchase some from you. Fellow Taoist Long got straight to the point. Qin Ming considered for a moment and forced a smile. Indeed, the yield of spirit rice has been decent lately, but most of it has already been sold. Fellow Taoist Long frowned slightly, but maintained a polite demeanor. How much spirit rice does fellow Taoist Qin still have on hand? I'll buy as much as you have, all at market price. Fellow Taoist Long, I've heard that the price of spirit rice in the market is expected to rise by around 50% these days. Qin Ming hesitated slightly. Even though he didn't really want to offend the late-stage Qi cultivator in front of him, he also didn't want to be taken advantage of for nothing. Fellow Taoist Long was visibly taken aback. He couldn't help but start to scrutinize Qin Ming. The news about the rise in spirit rice prices was known to very few. Although it would be public knowledge in a few days, in Xinjiang Market, it was only grasped by a small circle of late-stage Qi cultivators and a few factions. Fellow Taoist Qin, you are quite well informed. Since that's the case, how about I buy it at the increased price? Fellow Taoist Long said simply. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming nodded in agreement. Currently, I have about 50 pounds in stock available for sale. I don't have more. You'll have to wait for the next season. After trading the spirit rice, fellow Taoist Long hurriedly took his leave. Qin Ming also didn't dare to truly offend the other party. After all, the alleys nearby were all under his protection. Sigh. Even late-stage Qi cultivators are starting to prepare. It seems the situation is indeed changing. The increase in spirit rice prices is indeed a good thing for me. But it also means that the surrounding environment is becoming increasingly harsh. Qin Ming had a meal of spirit rice. He went to the bedroom, sat cross-legged on a mat on the bed, and began to run the longevity technique. In his sea of consciousness, there were still 2 weak Dharma power entries remaining. It will be today. With a thought, 1 weak Dharma power entry disappeared. The mana gushing from the dantian began to circulate through the circulation over and over again, continuously washing and expanding the meridians. Finally, boom! When the mana within Qin Ming's dantian accumulated to a critical point, a thin membrane seemed to be torn apart. Qi cultivation, 3rd layer. The mana fluctuation on Qin Ming's body increased by a notch. Phew! Qin Ming exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. How many years has it been? Finally, no longer imprisoned at the Qi cultivation 2nd layer. He couldn't help but reflect, realizing that in this brief year or so, he had undergone many changes. As long as I develop steadily, foundation establishment is not impossible. Qin Ming felt the longevity spiritual power inside his dantian nearly doubled in size. While joyful, he remained cautious. The Qi cultivation 3rd layer is still unstable. I must quickly enhance my strength. In the ever-changing cultivation realm, those at the bottom of the Qi cultivation stage are like cannon fodder. Only at the foundation establishment stage can one barely stand. Ultimately, one's fate must be in one's own hands. Currently dependent on others, there are numerous inconveniences. Also, one might be dragged into the vortex of sect disputes at any moment, helplessly. To eliminate the conscription of the Spirit Feather Sect and regain freedom, only one of 3 conditions must be met. First, breakthrough to the foundation establishment stage. Second, in any of the 100 skills of cultivation, advance to Tier 2. Third, submit any foundation establishment resources. He understood that he must strive towards these 3 directions. Next, the breakthrough from Qi cultivation 3rd layer to 4th layer. For Qin Ming, this would be a massive test. The Qi cultivation 4th layer marks the cultivator's entry into the mid-stage Qi cultivation. It is the first significant bottleneck in cultivation. It would be infinitely more challenging than when he just broke through to the Qi cultivation third layer. 10 days later, in Xingyang Market and the surrounding Shanny areas, most cultivators had heard the news of a significant price increase in spirit rice and meat, among other essential daily goods. The prices of spiritual artifacts, pills, and talismans also started to rise. Since Qin Ming grew beastfang rice, Overseer Du Haifu had gradually increased the frequency of his patrols around this spirit field. Lately, with unrest, he even arranged for more personnel to patrol around the spirit field. During this period, apart from deploying the intermediate spirit rain technique to increase the fertility of the spirit field, Qin Ming was immersed in studying knowledge about spirit plants. Additionally, he was searching for a suitable body refining technique. Qin Ming's beastfang rice had not yet matured, so he couldn't hurry. In the blink of an eye, 3 months passed. Within the spirit field, perhaps Qin Ming's luck had run out during this period. In the second season's 4 acres of golden spirit rice, he only harvested 2 weak Dharma power entries. Fortunately, after Qin Ming broke through to the Qi cultivation third layer, his mana doubled, so he no longer faced the issue of mana running out when deploying the intermediate spirit rain technique. The yield of the second season's golden spirit rice set a new record, exceeding 9 stones. This time, after paying the spirit rice tax, Qin Ming didn't rush to sell it. Instead, he kept a portion in reserve for later needs. Shopkeeper Liao wanted to buy more during the price hike. Qin Ming had already prepared an excuse. He told him about fellow Taoist Long buying spirit rice from him. Recently, the price of spirit rice in the market had been soaring, increasing by more than 60%. Qin Ming made a small fortune. The spirit stones in his storage pouch exceeded 150 for the first time. He also bought a low-grade golden light body protection talisman and a low-grade magical artifact, Cyan Spirit Sword, from shopkeeper Liao, spending another 25 spirit stones. These days, it's necessary to equip some protective gear. At the end of October, the autumn atmosphere grew stronger. The brisk autumn breeze arrived gracefully. A layer of dry leaves accumulated in the mountain forest, swirling and flying about with the wind, scattering wantonly and covering the winding path ascending to the mountaintop. However, it also obscured a few unusual traces on the path. The third season of spirit rice had already produced spirit rice ears. In another month, they could be harvested. Everyone gradually forgot the disturbances from earlier times. In the golden-hued fields of spirit rice across several hundred acres on the slope of the mountain, the busy figures of spirit farmers were everywhere. The yield of this final season of spirit rice was of paramount importance to these spirit farmers. With the harvest imminent, the spirit farmers dared not relax for a moment, spending almost every day in the spirit field, not leaving an inch. In Qin Ming's spirit field for the third season of golden spirit rice, only 1 weak Dharma power entry appeared. His hopes to quickly ripen the beastfang rice also fell through. He gazed with longing at the 4 entries in the beastfang rice field before him. Name: beastfang rice entry. High-level spirit rain technique, X5. Maturity 28%. Name: beastfang rice entry. Quality enhancement X1. Maturity 26%. Name: beastfang rice entry. Ripening X5. Maturity 33%. Moreover, the news that he had cultivated beastfang rice spread by word of mouth, and some people in the market had started to pay attention to the situation of this acre of land. He could only wait slowly. Currently, his sea of consciousness held 3 weak Dharma power entries. Qin Ming was in the spirit field, performing the spirit rain technique to bring down rain. He heard footsteps approaching from behind. He became alert. Immediately withdrawing the spell, he turned to look back. He saw a young cultivator in a white robe, carrying a small bamboo basket, appear within his view. It's actually Master Su. What is he doing here? Just as Qin Ming was puzzled, Master Su walked directly towards him and straightforwardly said, "Fellow Taoist Qin, I heard you successfully cultivated beastfang rice." Qin Ming hurriedly saluted Master Su and said humbly, "I just got lucky." Fellow Taoist Qin, There's no need to be so restrained. I came here for the accompanying product of the Beast Fong rice, red spirit dew. This was the first time Qin Ming had heard of it and couldn't help feeling surprised. Master Su explained, this red spirit dew is a rather uncommon auxiliary material for alchemy. It can harmonize medicinal properties, and not many people know about it. With that said, Master Su came to the area around the Beast Fong rice field and began to observe carefully. He walked around the spirit field, holding his chin as if deep in thought. After a long while, Master Su looked at Qin Ming and clicked his tongue in wonder. Fellow Taoist Qin, to be honest, your cultivation of Beast Fong rice has indeed exceeded my expectations. The quality after maturation shouldn't be bad. It seems you have some unique cultivation methods. Qin Ming felt a bit emotional. No secret recipe, but there is an unspeakable secret. Master Su gently parted the leaves at the top of a Beast Fong rice plant. He waved his hand, beckoning Qin Ming to take a look. When Qin Ming approached, he saw that at the root of the leaf, there indeed hid a dewdrop as red as blood. So, this is red spirit dew. Qin Ming suddenly understood. If Master Su hadn't mentioned it, he truly wouldn't have known, as it wasn't even recorded in the spirit plant book. Taking this red spirit dew does not affect the spirit plant itself. It just so happens that I can use it for alchemy. Fellow Taoist Qin, may I collect some? I can offer 10 spirit stones in exchange. Master Su asked plainly. Master Su, you must be joking. Since this spirit dew is useful to you, please feel free to take some. Qin Ming couldn't possibly let him offer spirit stones. Establishing a relationship with such a promising alchemist was an opportunity he couldn't miss. Moreover, last time he even benefited from a free qi recovery pill from the other party, so he gladly returned the favor. In that case, I won't refuse. Master Su said, taking out a jade porcelain bottle, ready to gather red spirit dew. Rustling sounds. The forest around them started to shake frantically. It seemed like some beast was leaping between the trees, heading straight for the hundreds of acres of spirit field. Master Su halted his actions upon hearing the commotion. What's happening? Qin Ming's expression changed. Instinctively, he took out a golden light protective talisman, his brows furrowing with a sense of impending danger. The surrounding spirit farmers on the mountain also noticed the anomaly around them. They all put down their tasks. Suddenly, before they could react, screech, screech, screech. One sharp cry after another echoed among the spirit fields on the slope. Dozens of monkeys covered in sickly, bizarre fur suddenly emerged from the forest. Among them, a few demon beasts had even stronger auras. Surprisingly, they were Tier 1 mid-stage demon beasts. Not good. It's the mad, howling monkeys. Master Su seemed to recognize the demon beasts. He patted his storage pouch, and a set of array flags appeared in his hand, immediately casting a technique and throwing them to the ground. A light blue barrier, 2 zhang in range, appeared instantly beneath his feet, enclosing him. Master Su quickly called out to Qin Ming, "The golden light talisman is useless. Get inside quickly." Upon hearing this, Qin Ming did not hesitate and promptly entered the barrier's range. Instantly, the sounds outside were completely sealed off. Qin Ming quickly gazed towards the nearby spirit fields. He saw, where his eyes could reach, the incessant howls of the mad, howling monkeys, with arc-shaped sound waves emanating from their mouths, spreading toward the surroundings. Observing those low-tier spirit farmers, once hit by the sound waves, their eyes turned blood red, faces twisted, appearing insane. They began attacking each other. In an instant, the spirit field was in chaos, with many immature spirit rice plants being destroyed all over the ground. A mid-stage chi cultivator, a spirit farmer, just summoned a Dharma sword intending to escape in flight, but his spell was interrupted by the sound wave, causing him to plummet directly from midair. Swoosh! A mad howling monkey, larger than the usual monkeys by a circle, leaped out of the spirit field. Its movements were extraordinarily swift. In an instant, it grabbed the spirit farmer, revealing crimson fangs, and actually bit through his neck. Crimson blood gushed out. Before dying, The spirit farmer's face still bore a look of terror. Screech, screech, screech. Sharp, piercing howls echoed through the mountains. Qin Ming, watching the bloody and brutal scene, felt a tingling sensation on his scalp. His heart pounded rapidly, and without any hesitation, he wanted to escape urgently. If spirit rice was lost, it could be replanted. If his life was lost, then nothing would remain. But he abruptly halted, thinking carefully, if I leave Master Su's array range now, I will surely be hit and will end up no better than that spirit farmer. He hesitated for a moment. Turning back, Qin Ming found that although Master Su's expression wasn't good, he didn't show too much panic. Could it be that he is confident in his array? Various thoughts flashed through his mind. His expression was somewhat complex. Don't panic. My array can hold those beasts off for a while. Master Su evidently saw through Qin Ming's thoughts and spoke. These are mad howling monkeys. Their most formidable attack is the sonic waves from their mouths, which can mesmerize, very mysterious, and incredibly hard to defend against. Hold on for a while. Spirit Feather Sect's people should be arriving soon to assist. As soon as he finished speaking, 7 or 8 mad howling monkeys began grouping together, charging toward the two of them, forming a surrounding formation and rushing fiercely. Among them was the very mad howling monkey at Tier 1 midstage that had killed the spirit farmer. Now, facing 8 of them, Master Su's expression changed too. Qin Ming watched the mad howling monkeys rampage unrestrainedly through the spirit field. Soon they would reach his own spirit field. Qin Ming immediately patted his storage pouch, a flicker of determination in his eyes. A small copper bell appeared, floating in his hand. Qin Ming formed a spell with his hand, and the small bell transformed into a large bell, positioned in mid-air ahead. It was the beast exorcism technique. If it's a shouting match, let's see who's louder. Roar. A massive roar that shook the mountains and forests erupted from the copper bell spiritual artifact of Qin Ming. The sound was deafening, and it continued roaring relentlessly. Just hearing this momentum was truly terrifying. With Qin Ming at the center, countless sound waves like tidal waves swept away the clouds, spreading outward layer by layer, completely drowning out the shrill cries of the mad howling monkeys. The bizarre sound waves emitted by the monkey herd were instantly dispelled. The nearby spirit farmers' eyes gradually lost their red hue, their minds slowly regaining clarity. The low-tier, mad, howling monkeys were frightened and scattered everywhere. The few monkeys trying to attack the array where Qin Ming and his companion were closest to the Copper Bell spiritual artifact's attack range. Shocked by the massive sound waves, their fur stood on end, showing a look of absolute terror, trembling in fear. But the Tier 1 mid-stage mad, howling monkey, after a brief moment of confusion, hesitated for a few breaths before returning to its ferocious state. It seemed not much affected. Squeak, squeak, squeak. It shrieked skyward again, trying to reorganize the monkey herd to attack anew. It had obviously discerned some flaws in the beast exorcism technique. It was thunderous with little rain, causing them no substantial harm. All show and no substance. Oh my goodness, is this indeed the beast exorcism technique? It's more like the lion's roar technique. And it's the amplified version with a speaker. Qin Ming himself was startled. By casting the beast exorcism technique once, a fifth of his mana was instantly depleted. However, after witnessing the beast exorcism technique affect the monkey demon beasts, he felt somewhat reassured. Fellow Taoist Qin actually knows the beast exorcism technique. Behind him, Master Su was greatly surprised, repeatedly reassessing Qin Ming. He didn't know how to judge the person in front of him. It works inconsistently. Master Su, forgive me. Fellow Taoist Qin, beware. Those mad howling monkeys are coming again. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming immediately gathered his spirits, quickly circulated his mana, and unleashed another beast exorcism technique. Half a cup of tea later. Finally, a huge Dharma ship passed through escape light in the sky, arriving instantly above their spirit field. Qin Ming took a closer look It was Steward Gu of the Spirit Feather Sect, bringing reinforcements with the outer disciples. Still timely enough. He let out a long sigh of relief. Just moments ago, he had used up all 5 entries for the beast exorcism technique. At this moment, Qin Ming's face was pale, with an emptiness in his dantian. If not for his longevity dharma power being twice as much as ordinary cultivators. If Steward Gu and the others had been a bit later, he'd truly be at the end of his rope. He was considering using the weak dharma power entry to sustain his life. This demon beast sneak attack was so swift, barely lasting half a moment. Coupled with the bizarre sound wave attack, everyone was unprepared. Humph! Days ago, couldn't find you abominations anywhere, yet hiding right under my nose. Steward Gu was clearly furious to the point of bursting. This time, the loss to the spirit field wasn't small. As the primary chief officer in charge of spirit rice tax revenue, he was sure to face punishment from the sect. Steward Gu flicked his fingers, and a scarlet flying sword shot out from his hand. A rainbow light flashed, tracing an arc through the sky. Ching! The flying sword instantly pierced through the leader of the Tier 1 mid-stage mad, howling monkey. The air was quiet. A streak of blood appeared from the monkey's head to its tail, cleaving it in two with a single sword. The monkey corpse collapsed helplessly. Qi cultivation perfection, terrifying indeed. Qin Ming stared dumbfounded at Steward Gu's thunderous means, gaping. The arrival of the Spirit Feather Sect's people signaled the end of this incident. Steward Gu, with the sect disciples, swiftly eradicated all the mad, howling monkeys. Not a single monkey managed to escape. In the short term, there should be no more demon beast disturbances near the spirit field. Who just used the beast exorcism technique? After clearing the scene, Steward Gu boarded the Dharma ship and asked the group before leaving. Qin Ming heard this and stood in silence. In the Cultivation Realm, he dared not reveal too many extraordinary qualities. Qin Ming had never been outdone in caution, but unless necessary, he only pretended to control what he could, not taking even the slightest risk. It was fellow Taoist Qin. We owe him a great deal this time. Master Su stepped forward and surprisingly spoke on his behalf. Oh, Master Su is here too. A moment ago, in the heat of the moment, I failed to notice. Steward Gu squeezed out a rare smile on his stern face. Is he the spirit farmer who grew the beast fong rice? Record this merit. This quarter's spirit rice tax is reduced by 10%. Steward Gu squinted, sizing up Qin Ming, unable to see anything special about him. Then he coldly instructed Du Haifu beside him. Du Haifu looked as if he had eaten something unpleasant and quickly replied, Yes, 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 it will be done. Reducing by 10% naturally reduced his share. Master Su, the matter we discussed earlier remains valid. If you reconsider, feel free to visit me at the Spirit Feather Sect base. Steward Gu earnestly said to Master Su, I'm used to a leisurely life and really dislike being constrained. Let me think about it. Very well, I have urgent matters to attend to, so I must take my leave. After saying this, Steward Gu left with his disciples to report back. Qin Ming breathed a sigh of relief. He looked around at the hillside ravaged by the monkey horde, where only his spirit field and a few others were spared. 3 or 4 spirit fields had lost more than half of their produce. Over a dozen spirit farmers on the mountain died, all succumbed to the sound wave incantations of the mad howling monkeys, dying in mutual calamity. Besides Qin Ming and Master Su, the remaining survivors were all somewhat injured. Looking at the corpses lying in the spirit field, Qin Ming felt a surge of indescribable emotion. Alas, these low-level spirit farmers merely toil laboriously in farming to survive. But in the end, they cannot withstand a sudden, unexpected event. If Master Su hadn't recognized those demon beasts, I would likely have met the same fate as the other spirit farmers today. All right, I wonder how Kai the Ninth is doing? Qin Ming suddenly remembered. Fellow Taoist Qin, we owe a great deal to you this time. If you hadn't used the beast exorcism technique to break the sound wave attack of the monkey horde, if those demon beasts had attacked together it would have been hard for us to remain unscathed today. Master Su approached and kindly offered a bottle of Qi recovery pills to Qin Ming. Qin Ming was taken aback. After hesitating for a moment, he accepted the pills without declining. He opened the jade bottle, finding 5 Qi recovery pills inside. Immediately, he took one and sat down on the spot to restore his mana through meditation. Moments later, some color returned to Qin Ming's pale face, feeling a bit better. Master Su, please go and collect the red spirit dew in the spirit field while I go check on Kai the Ninth. Qin Ming stood up and informed Master Su. He then hurried towards Kai the Ninth's spirit field. To his surprise, along the mountain path, halfway there, he came face to face with Kai the Ninth. At this moment, Kai appeared disheveled, his body also injured, looking quite the mess, limping with a stick he picked up along the way. Kai the Ninth looked up and saw Qin Ming, who seemed perfectly fine and was instantly dismayed. No way. How come nothing happened to you? Kai the Ninth was originally worried about Qin Ming's safety, but now he couldn't accept it. Kai the Ninth, how are you? Not badly hurt, I hope. Alas, who knows where these mad monkeys came from? It's good that you're okay. Seeing that Kai's injuries were only superficial, Qin Ming felt reassured. What do you mean okay? You wouldn't believe it. Some bastard, influenced by the monkey's incantations, actually poked my ass with a spiritual hoe. Damn it, they better hope I don't find out who it was. Kai the Ninth, clutching his waist with one hand and holding onto a nearby tree with the other, indignantly asked, You still haven't answered me. How come nothing happened to you? Are those monkeys your relatives, or something, sparing you? Qin Ming replied speechlessly, It was sheer luck. I just happened to run into Master Su. Without him, you would probably be burning paper offerings for me right now, alas. What? Master Su? What was he doing in your spirit field? Kai the Ninth asked, puzzled. Qin Ming had no choice but to patiently explain the situation of Master Su coming to ask for red spirit dew. You actually managed to grow beast fong rice? Kai the Ninth was dumbfounded, his understanding of the world once again shattered. He had been here for more than 10 years and had tried to cultivate beast fong rice himself. But without exception, he had failed every time. Kai the Ninth had once suspected that perhaps the spirit vein here was unsuitable for the growth of beast fong rice. He tried hard to convince himself that Qin Ming was just playing tricks on him. But it wasn't until he came to the back of the mountain and saw Qin Ming's spirit field, where beast fong rice was already half-grown, he was speechless for a long time. Indeed, he felt a twinge of envy. This time, he truly envied Qin Ming. Qin Ming, you little brat, you're not being fair? And to think I even gifted you wine. You grow beast fong rice and don't even tell me? After saying this, he didn't forget to warmly greet Master Su. Then he sidled closer to Qin Ming's ear and asked quietly, Where did you get the spirit seed for beast fong rice? Qin Ming looked at him, slightly dazed. I bought it from shopkeeper Liao. Took a gamble, bet everything I had. You really are lucky to actually manage to grow it. I don't even know what to say to you. Qin Ming smiled wryly. All right, when the beast fong rice ripens, I'll treat you to a meal at Jushuan Pavilion. You said it, remember. Kai the Ninth finally let it go. 2 days later, the turmoil over the demon beast attack passed, and Spirit Feather Sect set up some protective measures around the spirit field. But due to the large area, they could only set up some simple alarm arrays. After this incident, Qin Ming's desire to enhance his power grew increasingly strong. Without a trump card, there was no sense of security. There was always the danger of death and destruction. Qingyang Market. Qin Ming once again arrived at the Ruan family mansion. Knock, knock, knock. He knocked on the red-painted door. After a short while, a middle-aged cultivator opened the door. He was at the 5th layer of the Qi cultivation stage, and his face showed signs of fatigue, his hair tied with a wooden crown, streaked with gray. Fellow Taoist, who are you here to see? What business do you have? Qin Ming cupped his hands in greeting and got straight to the point. You must be fellow Taoist Ruan? I am Qin, introduced by a shopkeeper Liao, and I've heard you have a body refining technique for sale, so I've come to visit. Fellow Taoist Ruan was momentarily surprised, then invited Qin Ming into the Ruan family mansion. Once inside the courtyard, the scene was desolate with only fellow Taoist Ruan present. Since you were introduced by shopkeeper Liao, he must have told you, right? Unless you have pills or spiritual materials that enhance Qi blood, I fear I'll have to disappoint you. Fellow Taoist Ruan sized up the young cultivator before him, who appeared quite ordinary, showing no special traits. Of course. May I ask fellow Taoist Ruan to introduce this technique? It would help me consider it carefully, Qin Ming asked. To speak of it, I must confess with a bit of embarrassment, fellow Taoist Ruan sighed deeply. He pointed to the expansive mansion, his voice full of melancholy. Then he candidly said, all this large family property has come to this point, thanks to this technique. He then took a piece of beast hide from his storage pouch and showed it to Qin Ming before continuing. This technique is called the 100 Treasures Glazed Scripture, handed down in my family for generations. Generations of ancestors have treasured it, though its exact origin is unknown. However, practicing this technique requires a rather harsh prerequisite, which is that it must be accompanied by heavenly materials and earthly treasures that enhance Qi blood in order to cultivate. As fellow Taoist Ruan delved deeper into the details, Qin Ming gradually formed his judgment about the technique. This 100 Treasures Glazed Scripture was entirely different from the body refining techniques Qin Ming had encountered before. The path it followed for body refining was neither about tempering the flesh, impacting acupoints, nor strengthening muscles and bones. It was blood transformation. The 100 Treasures, as the name suggests, specifically refers to heavenly and earthly spiritual materials that enhance Qi blood, and they must be of graded quality. The higher the grade, the better. And the so-called blood transformation involves moving the Qi blood, and upon reaching a certain level, entering the bone marrow refining stage, replacing old blood with new. By constantly enhancing Qi blood, when compressed to the limit, one could even achieve Qi blood as viscous as mercury slurry, transcending the human limit, breaking through to another level. Glaze signifies that after blood transformation, the Qi blood undergoes metamorphosis and the body becomes as translucent as glass. Once the 100 Treasures Glazed Scripture is cultivated to the 5th layer, the repeated metamorphosis of Qi blood allows one to condense a glazed treasure robe outside the body with one's own powerful Qi blood. Ward off all evils, immune to hundreds of poisons, indestructible, and even possesses certain dharma-defying effects against magic. Dharma-defying effects? Qin Ming was secretly astounded. When cultivated to an advanced level, this technique could reach the state of being flawless, with the entire body radiating a treasure-hued brilliance, possessing incredibly formidable physical strength, ultimately achieving the body of pure glass. However, this was merely what the technique documented, and no one had ever reached this state. Precisely because of this, the spiritual materials needed to practice this technique are incredibly vast, fellow Taoist Ruan said at a measured pace. It could be considered a bottomless pit. If you don't have a sufficient supply of spiritual materials for long-term cultivation, I'd advise you to give up. Spending so much in terms of resources could purchase more than one top-tier cultivation technique, and it might not even be successful, making it somewhat impractical. Moreover, this technique is merely an incomplete scroll. The 100 Treasures Glazed Scripture has a total of 12 layers, and currently, the beast hide I have only contains the first 9 layers for body cultivators at the Qi cultivation stage. After listening to fellow Taoist Ruan, Qin Ming fell into deep thought. He wasn't short of spiritual materials, as ripening would take care of it. What seemed to require great expense for others turned out to be his advantage. In conclusion, as long as there were enough spiritual materials to increase Qi blood, the body refining speed of this 100 Treasures Glazed Scripture shouldn't be slow. May I ask, fellow Taoist Ruan, how many layers have you cultivated? Fellow Taoist Ruan, upon being asked, replied with some sentiment. Over the years, I've exhausted my family's wealth, spending thousands of spirit stones, searching everywhere for spiritual materials to increase Qi blood, and I've only reached the 3rd layer. Has anyone in your family cultivated this technique to the 5th layer? No. Currently, I've cultivated it to the highest level. Qin Ming suddenly understood why he wanted to sell it at a low price. After careful consideration, Qin Ming decisively said, 100 spirit stones plus 10 pounds of beastfong rice for this technique. How about it? What? You actually have beastfong rice? Upon hearing this, fellow Taoist Ruan's previously despondent demeanor vanished. His entire being suddenly became invigorated, and his eyes flashed brightly. Indeed, the beastfong rice has yet to mature, but it has successfully been planted. It's only a matter of time, Qin Ming said calmly. A hint of joy appeared on fellow Taoist Ruan's face. Since you have this as a sweetener, the transaction is certainly feasible. However, 10 jin is a bit too little. At least 20 jin of beastfong rice is needed. Fellow Taoist Ruan considered briefly and offered. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming furrowed his brow and turned to leave. This person wants to take advantage of me? 20 jin of beastfong rice. It's just daylight robbery. It must be known that even before, the price of beastfong rice was already 10 times that of ordinary golden spirit rice. Now, with various cultivation resources skyrocketing in Qingyang market, the price of beastfong rice is at least 5 spirit stones per jin and rising. The 100 treasures glazed scripture sounds pretty good from his introduction, but no one has ever successfully cultivated it. It's uncertain if the creator of this technique exaggerated its benefits. Moreover, starting to cultivate, it means burning through spirit stones continuously. Even generations of the Ruan family only reached up to the 3rd layer at best. Although Qin Ming has some interest in the technique, fellow Taoist Ruan's asking price has exceeded his acceptable range. Seeing Qin Ming walking straight out without a word, fellow Taoist Ruan became anxious, regretting having set the price so high. Hey, fellow Taoist Qin, let's talk it over. Don't rush off, please stay. Fellow Taoist Ruan hurriedly stopped him. How about I step back and add 15 jin of beast spirit rice? Qin Ming didn't respond, just quietly watched him. Seeing Qin Ming's expression of indifference, impenetrable like iron, fellow Taoist Ruan felt helpless. Young people today are so impatient. He knew that this was Qin Ming's final threshold. Sighing deeply, mulling over it for a while, reluctantly, he said, Fine, this technique has been with my Ruan family for so long, and no one has managed to succeed with it. Perhaps my family lacks the fortune. So, let's go with what fellow Taoist Qin proposed, 100 spirit stones plus 10 jin of beastfong rice. He appeared to have resigned himself to it. A slight smile appeared on Qin Ming's face as he said, Deal. When do you expect fellow Taoist Qin's beastfong rice to be deliverable? Fellow Taoist Ruan finally breathed a sigh of relief and asked softly, Probably around another 2 years. Qin Ming considered briefly and spoke. If that's the case, how about this? Fellow Taoist Qin pays me 100 spirit stones first, and I can copy the first 5 layers of the technique for you. When your beastfong rice matures, you can come and take the original technique. What does fellow Taoist Qin think? Fellow Taoist Ruan pondered and offered a compromise. Agreed. Qin Ming nodded decisively in agreement. He then took 100 spirit stones from his storage pouch and handed them to fellow Taoist Ruan. As he passed the spirit stones over, although outwardly silent and generous, inwardly, it felt like his heart was bleeding. He had struggled greatly to save those spirit stones. This was practically all in. Fellow Taoist Ruan put away the spirit stones, then took out a jade scroll, handing it to Qin Ming with a smile. Qin Ming accepted the jade scroll and placed it against his brow, using his spiritual sense to carefully inspect it. After repeatedly comparing it with the beast skin technique in fellow Taoist Ruan's hand and confirming there were no errors, the transaction succeeded. After a brief chat with the other party, Qin Ming left Ruan Mansion. Returning to the shantytown, Qin Ming resumed his ordinary farming life. In 1 acre of beastfong rice spirit field. Name, beastfong rice entry, high-level spirit rain technique, X5, ripeness 35%. Name, Beast Fong Rice Entry, quality enhancement X1, ripeness 32%. Name, Beast Fong Rice Entry, ripening X5, ripeness 40%. Qin Ming observed these 3 entries daily, gradually approaching maturity, feeling assured. In the next 2 years, Qin Ming already had a plan. If the ripening entry refreshed in the spirit field, he planned to secretly transplant a small portion of the Beast Fong rice for cultivation. Transplanting a few hundred plants would be barely noticeable. Of course, the 3 with entries must be taken and ripened. There's another ripening X5 in the Beast Fong rice spirit field, and with spirit seeds and entries in hand, it can continue ripening. If not for the increasingly unstable surrounding environment, Qin Ming wouldn't be in such a rush. A mere 2 years, he could still afford to wait. But circumstances now don't permit him to wait any longer. Although he doesn't court trouble, trouble can find him. The situation in the cultivation realm shifts quickly. Now the higher echelons maneuvers in the sect have started affecting even the remote corner of Yunzi wilderness and a small Qingyang market. Qin Ming still hopes to firmly grasp the reins of his destiny in his own hands. A month later, the final harvest of spirit rice for the year finally arrived. This time, unlike before, Steward Gu from the Spirit Feather Sect and Overseer Du Haifu were already waiting early in the spirit field, accompanied by many disciples on guard around the spirit field. Under Steward Gu's watch, the spirit farmers began harvesting the spirit rice. The evening glow rose. Once the spirit rice was completely harvested, Du Haifu began collecting the spirit rice tax. Soon, he completed the statistics and respectfully handed the ranking jade scroll to Steward Gu for review. In the final season, Qin Ming's golden spirit rice yield increased once more. It surpassed 10 Dan and 90 Jin. Additionally, this season, Steward Gu waived a tenth of the spirit rice tax for him. After paying the tax, Qin Ming received 320 Jin of golden spirit rice. His total ranking across the 3 seasons this year entered the top 10. When Du Haifu came to collect the spirit rice tax, his attitude starkly differed from before, calling him Little Qin so sweetly. Of course, this breakthrough into the top 10 was partly due to the mad howling monkey demon beast disturbance not long ago, because only Qin Ming's and a few other spirit fields remained unscathed. After checking the spirit rice yield statistics, Steward Gu's stern face showed no emotion whatsoever. He immediately announced coldly, "This year's spirit rice yield rankings are all compiled, and you may view them yourselves. The bottom 30 cultivators get on the ship with me." Even though the spirit field suffered from demon beast attacks, the Spirit Feather Sect showed no leniency toward these low-level spirit farmers. The 30 spirit farmers stared blankly at the light screen, lost, fully aware of the fate awaiting them. Watching those spirit farmers, Qin Ming felt a mix of emotions. Then, his expression suddenly became resolute. Turning, he patted nearby Kai the Ninth, saying, "Stop looking. Let's go." "Qin Ming, do you think one day we might also be among those 30? Kai the Ninth asked in a slightly hoarse voice. Qin Ming paused, said nothing. If he didn't have the golden finger, that previous scene might very well be the answer. The final destination of an ordinary person. Beasts of burden in prosperous times, cannon fodder in chaos, squeeze for labor in peace, expendable in wartime. The grain rain dawns in spring. The mountains and rivers take on an emerald hue. At the beginning of a new year, Qin Ming had already planted the first season of golden spirit rice early on. After a month, the spirit field began to sprout tender shoots. Name, golden spirit rice entry. Ripening, maturity 3%. Name, golden spirit rice entry. Weak dharma power, maturity 3%. Qin Ming stared at the 2 entries brushed out within the spirit field. His heart surged with excitement. In 3 months, when this season's spirit rice matures, he can harvest 1 ripening entry and 1 weak dharma power entry. This means he can harvest a batch of Beast Fong rice ahead of time. Being a spirit farmer, the days were monotonous and tedious. Every day Qin Ming was either tending to the spirit field or wholeheartedly immersed in cultivation. In his sea of consciousness lay quietly 4 white leaves of weak Dharma power entries. These 4 weak Dharma power entries, if Qin Ming uses them, can equal a year's worth of hard cultivation. But Qin Ming didn't do so. He wanted to break through to Qi cultivation 4th layer, and the mana needed was not just a little bit more. This amount of mana, to him now, is like a drop in the ocean. Better to keep it in reserve for future needs. Near the spirit field, a cyan Dharma sword under Qin Ming's mana manipulation flipped and flew, performing various fancy maneuvers. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. This is the basic object manipulation technique that most cultivators can exhibit. Only before, Qin Ming was so poor that he couldn't afford even the lowest grade Dharma sword, let alone practice. Nowadays, things are different, and finally, he can indulge in the thrill of flying swords. Swoosh! The cyan spirit sword under Qin Ming's control carved a cyan arc, slicing a small piece off a nearby giant rock. Directly slicing off a small piece. It feels pretty good to use, but the mana operation is still too awkward, not smooth enough. Qin Ming retracted the cyan spirit sword, took out a cloth, wiped it, and muttered. In his mind, scenes of Steward Gu from Spirit Feather Sect wielding the crimson flying sword, cutting down a monkey with 1 slash, often flashed. That is truly smooth and sleek. Of course, compared to Steward Gu's flying sword, Qin Ming's low-grade Dharma sword is practically a toy. Steward Gu's Dharma sword is at least high-grade spiritual artifact level and above. There's simply no comparison. Moreover, such high-tier artifacts often come with corresponding sword techniques training, greatly enhancing their power. With Qin Ming's current financial capability and cultivation realm, he can only think about it. Putting away the cyan spirit sword, Qin Ming practiced beast exorcism technique for a while. Without the beast exorcism technique entry, this magic is truly difficult to perform. Though hard to practice, Qin Ming, as a spirit farmer, certainly wouldn't give up cultivation on this spirit plant technique. One must remember, last time it saved his life, it may very well come in handy again in the future. Relying on others is not as good as relying on oneself. He still needs to guard it himself. Time flies by. 3 months pass again. The spirit rice matured. Ever since Qin Ming's cultivation broke through to Qi cultivation 3rd layer, combined with the intermediate spirit rain technique becoming more adept. Each quarter's spirit rice yield for Qin Ming has shown a great upward trend. This season, besides harvesting the ripening and weak Dharma power 2 white entries, he also harvested over 11 stone of spirit rice. After paying taxes, he still had more than 390 pounds left. Counting last year's harvested spirit rice, Qin Ming's current stock has now surpassed over 700 pounds. He has now achieved spirit rice freedom, able to eat whenever he wants. In Xinjiang market, the price of spirit rice has remained high. Taking advantage of the price hike, Qin Ming plans to sell some more. Shopkeeper Liao's current demand for spirit rice is even stronger than for pills and magical artifacts. There's also fellow Taoist Long, who has visited Qin Ming several times, all in vain for rice. Next time, he should provide some for him. Otherwise, it's really hard on his pride. One evening, Qin Ming discreetly transplanted several hundred stalks of beast fong rice, including the 3 carrying entries, into his small courtyard. Name: Beast Fong Rice Entry, High-Level Spirit Rain Technique X5, Maturity 38%. Name: Beast Fong Rice Entry, Quality Enhancement X1, Maturity 39%. Name: Beast Fong Rice Entry, Ripening X5, Maturity 45%. Everything was ready. Qin Ming used the ripening entry on the 3 stalks carrying entries. He thought that using 1 ripening entry just on these 3 should quickly yield results. Under Qin Ming's slightly nervous gaze, the 3 stalks of Beast Fong rice grew exponentially. After half a day, the growth speed of the 3 spirit plants slowed only after producing spirit rice ears. Name: Beast Fong Rice Entry, High-Level Spirit Rain Technique X5, maturity 90%. Name, Beast Fong Rice Entry. Quality Enhancement X1, maturity 92%. Name, Beast Fong Rice Entry. Ripening X5, maturity 93%. At this rate, the ripening effect hasn't completely faded, should be harvestable by tomorrow morning. The next morning, Qin Ming rises and checks inside the courtyard. The 3 stalks of Beast Fong rice have completely matured and produced abundant Beast Fong rice. This was the first time Qin Ming had grown tier 1 low-grade spirit plants. His heart was a little excited. He carefully peeled open a grain of Beast Fong rice's husk to examine, only to see the mature Beast Fong rice likened to canine teeth in size, larger than regular spirit rice. Beast Fong rice was wholly white as snow, crystal clear, shaped like beast fangs, with a thin layer of spirit charm shimmering on the surface, and its interior exuded a vivid blood red. The spirit rice emitted a unique, faint fragrance. This should be the source of Beast Fong rice's ability to enhance Qi blood. Though its quality is decent, the ones ripened are still of regular quality, Qin Ming thought. Classified spirit rice is divided according to varying output qualities: normal, premium, top grade. Qin Ming swallowed hard, took back the spirit rice, and quickly plucked the 3 stalks of Beast Fong rice. At once, 3 green entry leaves quietly appeared within his sea of consciousness. Now the real start begins. Qin Ming contained this rush of excitement. He then focused his attention on the several hundred stalks of Beast Fong rice. This time, he used up 1 ripening entry and quality enhancement entry. Time passed. 2 hours later, the Beast Fong rice in the small courtyard grew immensely. Perhaps Qin Ming's luck was on another upswing. Lady Luck shines again. Among these hundreds of Beast Fong rice, unexpectedly 2 entries brushed out. Name, Beast Fong rice entry. Weak Qi blood, maturity 50%. Name, Beast Fong rice entry. Weak Qi blood, maturity 52%. Qin Ming was amazed. The entries refreshed each time were closely connected to his next cultivation. Absolutely powerful. Presently, what he lacks is Qi blood power. 1. Ripening entry distributed across hundreds of spirit plants. Its ripening effect somewhat slowed. 7 days later, a small patch of Beast Fong rice in the courtyard has fully matured. Qin Ming could no longer hide his inner joy. This is premium Beast Fong rice. Name, Beast Fong rice. Entry, weak Qi blood, maturity 100% harvestable. Name, Beast Fong rice. Entry, weak Qi blood, maturity 100% harvestable. The appearance of premium Beast Fong rice has some differences compared to ordinary Beast Fong rice. Premium Beast Fong rice has several blood red patterns on its surface, alternating red and white, which are very attractive. The spiritual Qi it contains and the effect of enhancing Qi blood are also 3 times that of ordinary Beast Fong rice. It can greatly enhance Qi blood. With excitement, Qin Ming quickly cleaned up these hundreds of Beast Fong rice stalks. This batch directly yielded him 6 pounds of premium Beast Fong rice. In the next half month, Qin Ming followed the example closely, leaving some premium Beast Fong rice as seeds. Using the remaining 4 ripening entries, he continued to ripen them in batches. Ultimately, he harvested a total of 30 pounds of premium Beast Fong rice and 4 weak Qi blood entries. Up to now, all the ripening entries in his sea of consciousness have been consumed. For the future, he can only hope for the second season in the spirit field to bless him with more ripening entries. This use may be a bit wasteful, but Qin Ming could no longer care about that. The urgent matter was to quickly improve his strength. He estimated that if these 30 pounds of premium Beast Fong rice were placed in Xinjiang market, it would be fierce competition for them. Their value is self-evident. Qin Ming knows how to be discreet. Now, with his low strength, it's unsuitable to be too conspicuous in the cultivation realm. It's best to be humble. Attracting the covetous attention of others would be unfavorable. That evening, Qin Ming cooked a pot of premium Beast Fong rice, which released a fragrant aroma upon finishing, with its red and white spiritual rice displaying an enchanting color. It was mesmerizing. The key was its significant effect on enhancing qi blood. Many body-refining cultivators dream of such a thing. On the dining table, it could be considered a delicacy. Only those great figures from the sect could afford to eat. Qin Ming's mouth watered from the aroma. He brought the beast fong rice to the bedroom and sat on the bed. He began to feast eagerly and quickly finished the pot of beast fong rice. Boom! A surge of fiery energy erupted within Qin Ming's body, and the qi blood contained in the beast spirit rice swept through. Qin Ming hurriedly started exercising the technique from the 100 Treasures glazed scripture to move the qi blood. An intense moment later, Qin Ming's skin turned increasingly red, and a faint red mist emerged around him. This was a sign of moving qi blood deeply into bone marrow, refining and beginning to blood change. After personally cultivating the 100 Treasures glazed scripture, Qin Ming discovered that this cultivation technique did not have intense practice reactions during cultivation. It was quite gentle instead. His whole body felt warm and gradually began to heat and swell. Combined with cultivating premium beast fong rice, it was simply twice the result with half the effort. Soon, Qin Ming completely transformed into a little red man. A layer of blood pearl continuously seeped from his skin as new blood replaced the old. Qin Ming gritted his teeth, concentrated his thoughts a bit in his sea of consciousness, and used a weak qi blood entry. Boom! A massive surge of qi blood rushed in like a tidal wave, making Qin Ming seem like he was inside a steamer, feeling hot all over. The ceaseless qi blood began transforming, flowing constantly within him. Gradually, the old blood replaced on his body began to crust, enveloping him completely. He seemed to become a giant blood cocoon. Thump! Thump! Within the blood cocoon, red light pulsed with Qin Ming's heartbeat, continuously dimming. Whoosh! After 2 whole hours, a crack appeared on the blood cocoon, accompanied by more cracks, and the giant cocoon slowly shed. Qin Ming broke through the cocoon. A brand new power was born within him, a more mysterious one, the qi blood power. The appearance of qi blood power also marked Qin Ming's entry into the first layer of the 100 Treasures glazed scripture. Having completed the qi blood transformation, Qin Ming acquired the boost of qi blood power, significantly enhancing all his organs, bones, and skin. He now felt brimming with endless strength with every move. His skin, previously sunburned and weather-beaten, became smoother, as if shedding a layer, making it cleaner than before. The key was the skin, seemingly coated with a film, becoming more resilient, immune to harm from ordinary mundane weapons. Qin Ming stood up, walked into the small courtyard, raised his fist, and struck a millstone under the tree. Boom! Fragments of stone flew. The millstone shattered into countless pieces from his punch. So strong, Qin Ming was overjoyed. This is much stronger than ordinary first-layer body refining cultivators. He marveled at this silently. No wonder fellow Taoist Ruan would go bankrupt to cultivate this technique. Qin Ming looked at his own hands, filled with hope for the future once again. Perhaps he found a shortcut to surpassing others quickly. In the days that followed, Qin Ming continued to spend time on intensive farming and cultivating the 100 Treasures glazed scripture. Whenever a ripening entry refreshed, he would immediately ripen premium beast fong rice. With the constant support of beast fong rice, enhancing qi blood, Qin Ming's body refining progress could be described as very rapid. Time continued to pass. Half a year later, under Qin Ming's sheer accumulation of a large quantity of premium beast fong rice and weak qi blood entries, he had already cultivated the 100 Treasures glazed scripture to the 3rd layer. If fellow Taoist Ruan knew, he would probably be depressed to the point of vomiting blood. Qin Ming also understood why whenever beast fong rice was mentioned, fellow Taoist Ruan's eyes sparkled. It turns out, beast fong rice is the most compatible spiritual material with this cultivation technique among those that enhance qi blood. This is a profound experience Qin Ming felt during cultivation. However, according to the cultivation technique's records, The body refining effect of the first 5 layers of the 100 Treasures Glaze scripture is only slightly stronger than ordinary body refining effects. The true transformation comes with breaking through to the 5th layer, cultivating Qi blood to be as viscous as mercury slurry and using Qi blood power to form the glazed treasure robe. The further you progress, the more incomparable it becomes to ordinary body refiners. Such formidable Qi blood power will be greatly beneficial to Qin Ming in his future foundation establishment endeavors. In the cultivation realm, for a cultivator to break through to the foundation establishment stage before the age of 60, reaching Qi cultivation perfection is the minimum requirement. Foundation establishment pills are a strategic resource, often monopolized and controlled by major forces and major sects. Not to mention obtaining a foundation establishment pill. Even catching a glimpse is a luxury for ordinary loose cultivators. Besides, there are 3 major barriers. The first is the Qi blood barrier, which requires cultivators to have vigorous Qi blood and no hidden illnesses or injuries to successfully break through the foundation establishment stage. Otherwise, there's a danger of collapse. The second is the mana barrier. When breaking through the foundation establishment, sufficient mana quality and quantity and sufficiently resilient meridians are required. Otherwise, condensed liquid cannot be completed. The final barrier is the divine sense barrier. The spiritual sense of Qi cultivation stage cultivators only allow introspection and enhancing 5 senses, reading jade scrolls, etc. Foundation establishment births divine sense, which can be projected outward to explore at least a distance of tens of zhang around oneself, greatly enhancing daily cultivation and combat. Days passed by gradually. An unexpected event occurred in the past half-year. That is, Master Su actually visited Qin Ming twice. This is a rarity among rarities. More than half a year without seeing Master Su, and he had already broken through to the Qi cultivation 6th layer. Qin Ming was truly envious. Alchemists advanced cultivation so quickly. Every time Master Su visited, it was to purchase some daily spirit rice from Qin Ming. Qin Ming certainly welcomed this a lot. Over time, they gradually became more familiar. After discussing with Master Su twice, Qin Ming used 100 pounds of golden spirit rice to exchange for 2 spirit gathering pills that enhance mana during the Qi cultivation stage. Master Su agreed happily. On this day, Master Su visited once again. Qin Ming not only cooked a pot of golden spirit rice, but also prepared some fine wine and dishes for the occasion. Recently, he had earned a considerable amount of spirit stones by selling spirit rice. The spirit stone bag that had deflated last year was now full again, containing over 200 spirit stones. For a Qi cultivation novice like him, this was quite a substantial income. He even specially bought some demon beast meat to go with the drinks. Some quality demon beast meat could not only replenish Qi blood, but also be beneficial for cultivation. But the price was quite touching. Through several interactions, Qin Ming gradually understood Master Su's nature. Although inherently proud, he was still quite agreeable. In everyday conversations, Master Su would occasionally mention some topics regarding the alchemy skill to Qin Ming. Through Master Su's words, Qin Ming could feel that his talent in alchemy was indeed outstanding. Otherwise, he wouldn't have reached the level of middle-grade alchemist at such a young age. Fellow Taoist Qin, I'm not here to buy spirit rice today, but for another transaction, Master Su said, after sipping some wine, revealing his purpose. Qin Ming couldn't help but be curious, thinking to himself, I'm just a normal spirit farmer. What other business could Master Su have with me besides buying spirit rice? Master Su, what exactly is it? Qin Ming also drank a glass, unable to conceal his curiosity. I plan to refine a pill, for which I need a large number of ink-condensing flowers, and I'd like to ask you to help cultivate them. Master Su said solemnly. Ink-condensing flower? In Qin Ming's mind appeared an image of a spirit plant resembling a type of orchid, whose flowers seemed frost-coated, with pale yellow pistils. Ink-condensing flower is a Tier 1 spirit plant, which matures in about a year, with a flowering period of roughly 7 days. Its flowers can be used in the preparation of medicinal pills. Qin Ming had seen this plant in a spirit plant book he had bought previously. He had some impressions of it, but he had heard Master Su say before that this condensing flower could be used as an auxiliary material in refining the Tier 1 high-grade pill, bone marrow cleansing pill. The bone marrow cleansing pill is a tier-breaking pill for late-stage qi cultivation, extremely rare and precious, its price being exorbitant with no market to find it. Could it be? Is he preparing to break through to become a high-grade alchemist? Thinking to this point, Qin Ming had roughly understood what pill Master Su planned to refine. However, why would Master Su not ask the spirit plant masters of the Spirit Feather Sect for help cultivating it? Instead, he sought him, a spirit farmer? Qin Ming expressed his doubts. Haha, I'm used to being free-spirited, not fond of sect constraints. If I asked the Spirit Feather Sect to cultivate it, it would inevitably lead to entanglement. Master Su explained unhurriedly. I see. Qin Ming nodded and poured more wine from Master Su. But the condensing flower is a Tier 1 spirit plant, and I have never cultivated it. I'm afraid, Qin Ming said hesitantly at first, then straightforwardly. Fellow Taoist Qin is joking. Since you could successfully cultivate beesfong rice, I believe condensing flower won't be a problem for you either. Master Su said with a slight, enigmatic smile. Moreover, I can provide the spirit seeds for the condensing flower, and after successful cultivation, I'll purchase each plant at a rate of 5 spirit stones. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming's heart thumped with excitement. It was impossible not to be tempted. Considering the price Master Su offered, it was indeed a handsome income. Qin Ming pondered carefully for a moment and said, I can give it a try, but cannot guarantee success. Besides, I have a presumptuous request. I wonder if Master Su could agree? Please go ahead. I can cultivate the condensing flower from Master Su, taking only 10% upon maturity. The rest will be yours. However, I wish to learn a thing or two about the alchemy skill from Master Su. Facing such a great opportunity right before him, how could Qin Ming not seize it? He didn't expect Master Su to teach him any superior alchemical arts. Learning a few rudimentary skills would satisfy him. If Master Su agreed, it would be a great gain. Master Su, upon hearing this, was taken aback, sized up Qin Ming, and then chuckled. So this is your plan, huh? But you must be clear that the alchemy skill is not only very demanding of spirit stones, but also requires talent. Not everyone can master it. Don't blame me for not warning you later. Seeing the other's response, Qin Ming rejoiced inwardly, knowing there was hope for this matter. This time it's the condensing flower. Next time who knows what spirit grass Master Su will need, requiring him to shell out more valuable insights. Qin Ming's mind raced, churning out schemes. I plan to stay here for another 3 years. How about you cultivating spiritual medicines for 3 years? I will share some alchemical knowledge with you in exchange. Qin Ming's face lit up with joy and said, deal. Here is alchemy basics. Knowing the basic properties of medicines is essential. Inside are records and summaries from when I first learned alchemy. You can take it and have a look. With that, Master Su handed Qin Ming a jade scroll. Qin Ming took the jade scroll and thanked him promptly. With just a glance. The 3 essentials of alchemy, furnace and tripod, medicinal chapter, fire control chapter. Even a cursory look revealed that what he had thought was just an ordinary introductory alchemy book. On deeper inspection, this collection in the Jade Scroll was mostly Master Su's learning notes. The Jade Scroll divided the basics of alchemy into 3 major chapters. Furnace and Tripod chapter includes the refining of different spirit pills requiring different furnaces and tripods, specific functions, times to move the furnace or change the tripod. Medicinal chapter covers various spiritual materials' growing habits, environments, properties, combinations with other medicines, along with Master Su's remarks. Fire control chapter primarily focuses on manipulating flame during pill refining and the different grades of alchemy fire. Overall, the base alchemy information in Master Su's Jade Scroll was systematic and detailed. Just for this book, it would be worth growing for 3 years. Qin Ming happily stored the jade scroll, raised his cup, and toasted Master Su. After reaching an agreement, they continued their meal. Bang, bang, bang. Just then, someone knocked on the door outside Qin Ming's house. Master Su, you continue eating, I'll get the door. He signaled and then set aside dishes and rose to open the door. As soon as the door opened, it was fellow Taoist Long. Qin Ming hurriedly welcomed him inside. Fellow Taoist Long, please come in. We're just having a meal. Care to join us? Fellow Taoist Long frowned slightly and got straight to the point. No need. I'm here as usual to buy some spirit rice. I'm not. Before he finished speaking, he noticed a young figure dressed in a white robe, sitting at the table eating. It was Master Su. This shocked him, causing a strange expression. Why is Master Su here? Is he dining with him? Fellow Taoist Long greeted Master Su, but did not sit down. He glanced over at the table, full of spirit rice, spirit wine, and demon beast meat. Even this meal would cost at least 5 spirit stones. What is their relationship? Looks like I've underestimated fellow Taoist Qin. Even he wouldn't splurge like this every day, unable to see through Qin Ming now. Haha, fellow Taoist Qin, I won't stay for lunch. I have some matters to attend to. Seeing the reluctance, Qin Ming promptly fetched a storage pouch with spirit rice and handed it over to fellow Taoist Long. The usual deal, here's 80 pounds of spirit rice. Take a look, fellow Taoist Long. Fellow Taoist Long accepted the rice, weighed it lightly, and stored away, handing over 20 spirit stones to Qin Ming. After buying the spirit rice, fellow Taoist Long exchanged a few words with them and left. Having seen fellow Taoist Long off, Qin Ming returned to the dining table. Ah, fellow Taoist Qin has made quite a fortune from the spirit rice business lately. Master Su teased, popping a morsel into his mouth, barely scraping by. The market price of spirit rice has risen slightly, but it's not much compared to Master Su's earnings. Qin Ming modestly replied. After the meal, Master Su handed Qin Ming a small packet of condensing flower spirit seeds, instructing, I will rent a plot of land near your spirit field. Cultivate them there. Qin Ming accepted the seeds, nodding in agreement. He contemplated privately, wondering if this Tier 1 condensing flower might produce an entry. A few days later, Qin Ming went to see Master Su and got the token for renting a spirit field from him. Then he headed to the spirit field, ready to till the soil and plant seeds. To be honest, he was completely inexperienced when it came to cultivating condensing flowers like a blank sheet of paper. He had crammed through some spirit plant books in the past few days. Fortunately, the condensing flower did not have high environmental requirements for growth, or else it would have been quite difficult with the spiritual chi of a Tier 1 spirit vein. However, what he never expected was this. The most difficult part of cultivating condensing flowers is during the blooming period when it requires pollination. Unlike other spirit plants, the pollination of condensing flowers must be completed at least 7 times within the 7-day blooming period. It requires the magic of hive control. If the condensing flower is not pollinated sufficiently, its blooming period will end early, resulting in insufficient medicinal power of the spirit grass, rendering it useless for alchemy. This really troubled Qin Ming. Even if I can ripen them, I can't be the one to pollinate the flowers, can I? Alas, let's take it one step at a time. Qin Ming carried the spiritual hoe and began to plow the spirit field. Ever since he practiced the body refining technique, 100 treasures glazed scripture to the 3rd layer, his physical strength had greatly increased. He was more energetic in his daily planting tasks. His back no longer ached, nor did his legs tire. He felt like he could plow 10 miles in one breath. Thankfully, the condensing flowers matured in just 1 year, so he wouldn't have to wait too long. Qin Ming heard from Master Su that the main ingredients for the bone marrow cleansing pill all had to be at least 50 years old before they could be used as medicine. Their prices start at 100 spirit stones each. Additionally, there's a high failure rate in alchemy, requiring multiple sets of materials in one attempt. This gave Qin Ming a profound understanding of what burning spirit stones meant. After finishing plowing, Qin Ming planted all the spirit seeds given to him by Master Su, spanning a total of 3 acres. After casting the intermediate spirit rain technique on the spirit field, Qin Ming nodded in satisfaction. Whether they can grow on their own depends on heaven's will. If it doesn't work out, I'll have to use my ripening trick. Currently, the entries stored in Qin Ming's Sea of Consciousness over the past half-year remain. Weak Dharma Power X6. Weak Qi Blood X2. High-level Spirit Rain Technique X5. Ripening X1. All other entries were consumed during the cultivation of the 100 Treasures Glaze scripture. Qin Ming had been reluctant to use the high-level Spirit Rain technique because, firstly, the casting of the spell was too noticeable and could draw attention. Secondly, he planned to use it on high-level spirit plants at an appropriate time. After all, it could double the harvest of spirit plants. Qin Ming looked at his acre of Beast Fong rice spirit field, estimating it would likely take another year to fully mature. After planting the spirit grass, Qin Ming returned to his house to begin his cultivation. Gently opening a delicate jade bottle, he found 2 green pills inside, emitting a refreshing pill fragrance. Spirit Gathering Pill. He had exchanged a full 100 gene of spirit rice with Master Su for them. Qin Ming sat on the grass mat on his bed and took out a pill to begin cultivation. As Qin Ming ingested the spirit pill, the medicinal power spread throughout his body, constantly expanding his meridians. The efficiency of mana circulation also improved significantly. Qin Ming began to operate the longevity technique to absorb this vast spiritual power. After a while, Qin Ming opened his eyes, a trace of joy appearing on his face. This spirit-gathering pill truly deserves to be called a miraculous pill for increasing Qi cultivation stage cultivation. Just 1 spirit-gathering pill has increased my mana by more than several weak Dharma power entries. 1 pill is equivalent to a year's worth of arduous cultivation. If I could take such pills every day, I wonder if I could quickly break through to the Qi cultivation 4th layer. Qin Ming pondered to himself. After cultivation, Qin Ming was in a great mood. He planned to visit shopkeeper Liao to sell some of his spirit rice and see if he could purchase the magic for hive control. Now that he could enjoy premium Beast Fong rice, there was no need to stockpile ordinary golden spirit rice. Better to sell it while prices are high, in exchange for some talismans and magical artifacts. Qin Ming navigated through the alleys of the shanty town, taking several turns before reaching the main road. Qingyang Market. Oh, fellow Taoist Qin is here. Come in, have some tea. Inside Jushuan Pavilion, shopkeeper Liao flashed his signature smile, warmly greeting Qin Ming. Qin Ming smiled back. Without saying much, he took out 3 large bags of spirit rice from his storage pouch and placed them in front of him. Shopkeeper Liao, eyes sparkling with joy, was over the moon. This must be over 300 gene. Haha, it seems fellow Taoist Qin has had a bountiful harvest once again. After saying this, shopkeeper Liao personally took out a Great Dipper spiritual artifact to weigh it. 380 gene of golden spirit rice. Fellow Taoist Qin. The usual. How about pricing it at 120 spirit stones? Shopkeeper Liao asked with a smile. Qin Ming pondered for a moment and asked, Shopkeeper Liao, is the price of spirit rice still the same? Has it not increased further? That's right, fellow Taoist Qin. Lately, and for the foreseeable future, spirit rice prices won't be increasing again. Shopkeeper Liao glanced around and continued. However, talismans, protective magical artifacts, and life-saving pills are expected to see small price increases. If fellow Taoist Qin needs any of these, it's best to buy them early. In a few days, the price might be different. Suspicion flickered across Qin Ming's mind as he inquired, has something happened again? There's been no significant change, just that the Spirit Feather Sect and Golden Cloud Valley are in a stalemate. But the Spirit Feather Sect's pioneer battle camps at the front line are under pressure, experiencing large-scale casualties several times in a row. I've heard the Spirit Feather Sect is recruiting cultivators again to supplement their forces. Sigh. Shopkeeper Liao also sighed heavily. Qin Ming slightly furrowed his brows. He knew this meant that the Spirit Feather Sect was once again enticing loose cultivators to blaze a trail in the barbarian cultivators' gathering area. He took shopkeeper Liao's spirit stones and asked, "Do you have a magic for high control for sale?" Shopkeeper Liao, upon hearing more business might be coming his way, immediately replied, "Of course, there are few things this shop does not have." He then had someone fetch 3 jade scrolls from upstairs. "Fellow Taoist Qin, please take a look. These are the beast taming technique, insect extermination technique, and the spirit control scripture. All 3 cultivation techniques are the same price, and I can offer fellow Taoist Qin a 10% discount on them. Each one of them is normally priced at 300 spirit stones." After saying this, shopkeeper Liao looked at Qin Ming with an expectant gaze. This would be another big deal if it went through. He'd receive a considerable commission once again. Qin Ming smirked slightly and said directly, "Then forget it. This old rascal, every time I come here, he wishes I would spend all my spirit stones in one go. He's really good at doing business." Knowing that even after selling that spirit rice for 120 spirit stones, Qin Ming himself only had just over 300 spirit stones altogether. He felt that with the recent boost in his spirit rice yield, earning this many spirit stones already counted as accumulating some wealth. But here, any random cultivation technique could easily drain his purse. Alas, cultivation is truly a money sink. This was going to cost him dearly. How much is a middle-grade attack talisman? Qin Ming continued to ask. Shopkeeper Liao was about to show a disappointed expression at Qin Ming's outright refusal to purchase, but upon hearing his next question, he immediately perked up. A middle-grade fire cloud talisman is 80 spirit stones each. A middle-grade thunder arrow talisman is 100 spirit stones each. A middle-grade golden spear talisman is 80 spirit stones each. Fellow Taoist Qin, which one would you like? Qin Ming gritted his teeth. I'll take a middle-grade thunder arrow talisman. Shopkeeper Liao, delighted, immediately handed a blue talisman to Qin Ming. Qin Ming accepted the talisman. The transaction was completed. Shopkeeper Liao very enthusiastically escorted him out of the shop. Qingyang Market. Qin Ming left Jushuan Pavilion and walked slowly on the main street of the market. On the street, a myriad of cultivators come and go, a constant stream of activity. But it seems there are more unfamiliar faces in the market than usual now. Qin Ming is leisurely strolling down the street. Fellow Taoist, how about indulging a bit? At the entrance of a neighboring hall, a green-robed young female cultivator, dressed scantily, threw him a seductive glance. Qin Ming paused momentarily, then turned his gaze away expressionlessly and quickly walked away. "Oh, a righteous gentleman," the young female cultivator murmured in surprise, her confident demeanor quickly vanishing. She rolled her eyes in the direction Qin Ming departed, and then began to solicit the next passerby. After Qin Ming left, a burly man with a whiskered beard walked out from inside the hall, squinting as he asked, "Didn't take the bait?" Just another naive young man, truly boring," the green-robed female cultivator replied, casually rubbing her nails. The man nodded silently and went back inside. Outside the market, Qin Ming thought disdainfully. "Joking, I wouldn't want it even for free. Would I ever want to pay for it from you? Just common cheap allure. Fortunately, my Tao heart is firm." In the evening, Qin Ming returned to the slum district. For dinner, he cooked a pot of premium beesfong rice and then began cultivating the 100 Treasures glazed scripture. Over the past 6 months, the amount of premium beesfong rice he's consumed is truly staggering, if not for his good luck repeatedly triggering the ripening entry. Such a consumption rate, even he could barely sustain the cultivation of the body refining cultivation technique. Fellow Taoist Ruan's words of a bottomless pit were indeed truthful. Ordinary cultivators simply cannot afford such spiritual material expenses. Qin Ming discovered that the deeper he went into the 100 Treasures glazed scripture, the spiritual materials needed to increase qi blood are multiplying almost geometrically. Although the cost is pretty high, Yet this cultivation technique does have its extraordinary points. The effects of the body refining cultivation are significantly stronger even in the first 3 layers compared to ordinary techniques. The premium beast fong rice that Qin Ming possesses is still quite sufficient. Bang, bang, bang. Just as Qin Ming finished his cultivation, there was suddenly a rapid knocking at the door. He frowned. Who was in such a hurry? Qin Ming got up, stored the beast fong rice, and then went to open the door. He cautiously looked outside through the crack in the door. Standing outside was Kai the Ninth. But at the moment, he was sweating profusely, appearing anxious and flustered. Qin Ming opened the door and quickly asked, "Lao Jio, what's happened to you? Why are you so distraught?" Something big happened. Kai the Ninth stuttered nervously. His voice was tinged with a hint of trembling, as if he was afraid of something. "Fellow Taoist Long has fallen," Kai the Ninth uttered with a pale face, stumbling over the words. Qin Ming's mind blanked instantly. This news is truly hard to believe. Are you sure? Could it be a mistake? Fellow Taoist Long is a late-stage qi cultivation cultivator, with divine techniques not comparable to ordinary cultivators. How could he suddenly fall? Did he go to the frontier for clearing? With these words, Qin Ming started feeling uncertain inside. Kai the Ninth hurriedly responded, "With these times, could I be mistaken? Fellow Taoist Long didn't go to the frontier. Fellow Taoist Long was killed by a tribulation cultivator. The body was just discovered on the nearby riverbank. You'll understand once you come with me to see for yourself." With Kai the Ninth's shocking news, Qin Ming was also panicking. Without further delay, the two headed swiftly toward the riverbank. In less than the time it takes to sip tea, the two reached the scene of the incident. Only then did Qin Ming realize that the place where fellow Taoist Long's body was found was so close to his home, barely a few hundred yards away. When he and Kai the Ninth arrived, a large group of cultivators residing nearby had already gathered at the riverside. At this moment, they were all anxious, constantly pointing at the corpse in the river. Qin Ming forced his way through the crowd and raised his eyes to look. It really is fellow Taoist Long. Now he had nothing more to say. Where Qin Ming's eyes fell, fellow Taoist Long's body was already stripped clean, with all valuables and storage pouch gone without a trace. Furthermore, all over his body, there were dozens of horrifying blood holes, and both his neck and heart had been pierced by a magical artifact. I reckon, when he died, he didn't even have time to send out a rescue signal. Alas, too tragic. I heard it was fellow Taoist Wong and others who came out to do laundry by the river that discovered fellow Taoist Long's body. Indeed, it had been dead for a while. It should have been stuck under the bridge since last night, just now being washed out to the river. Do you think this was done by a tribulation cultivator? But given fellow Taoist Long's strength, how powerful would that tribulation cultivator have to be to silently kill him? The people around exchanged glances, an ominous feeling weighing on everyone's hearts. The atmosphere suddenly became very oppressive. Not long after, the patrol team of the Spirit Feather Sect also hurried over. The leader scattered the crowd of onlookers, peering toward the river, his expression also full of suspicion. He questioned himself. Even if he encountered the murderer who killed fellow Taoist Long, he would have no chance of survival. Could it be a foundation, establishment, stage, tribulation cultivator at work? But it doesn't seem like it either. The leader of the Spirit Feather Sect stroked his chin in thought, then decisively took out a communication talisman to report to the sect. This clearly exceeded his ability range. Qin Ming returned to his house, somewhat dazed. He never expected danger to be so close. It seems the slum district has become unsafe. Qingyang Market has Tier 2 arrays for protection, capable of stopping even a foundation establishment cultivator. I must plan ahead, find a way to relocate inside the market for safer living. Qin Ming's thoughts surged. And in the spirit field, hopefully Spirit Feather Sect will intensify patrols. Alas, thinking about farming in the future, even though it would be nerve-wracking, really numbs one's self. Hopefully, the tribulation cultivator, having targeted the late-stage qi cultivation fat sheep, won't come after us lowly spirit farmers. I guess we aren't appealing enough? Fellow Taoist Long's death profoundly shocked Qin Ming. Even someone as powerful as a late-stage Qi cultivation cultivator ended up dead. Qin Ming couldn't help but feel a heightened sense of crisis. After killing fellow Taoist Long, the murderer didn't even bother to deal with the corpse, blatantly discarding it in the river, clearly showing no concern. Rather, it feels like an outright provocation. Because over the years, with fellow Taoist Long, a late-stage Qi cultivator of considerable righteousness, serving as deterrence in the slum district, nearby troublemakers dared not act recklessly. Now that fellow Taoist Long is dead, the major issue becomes the guarantee of safety in the area. Qin Ming took out the middle-grade Thunder Arrow Talisman and placed it in his sleeve for a bit of reassurance. After reaching the third layer of the 100 Treasures Glazed scripture, the effect of premium Bisfong rice in increasing Qi blood also started to slow down gradually. I need a better type of spirit rice to enhance Qi blood and accelerate my body refining progress. What would happen if premium Bisfong rice quality is raised to a top-grade level? But the quality enhancement entry, aside from the first, hasn't appeared for half a year. Qin Ming thought at this point, his eyes showing a touch of decisiveness. Currently, the stored premium Bisfong rice supply is enough for another year. No more hesitating, going all in. This time, he plans to apply the last, ripening entry on those 3 acres of condensing flowers. Just to gamble on getting a quality enhancement entry. The incident of fellow Taoist Long's demise. It was like a layer of gloom, shrouding the slums, unable to disperse for a long time. For several consecutive days, the doors of the houses nearby were tightly shut, the alleyways losing their usual bustle, appearing cold and desolate. No one dared to go out at night. Despite Spirit Feather Sect strengthening their patrols, the tenants would only venture out in groups. Qin Ming was also like this, going to work in the spirit fields, always with the crowd. These days, the spirit fields were actually safer than the outside. The reason was that Steward Gu personally led disciples on patrols around the spirit fields. Every 3 days, Steward Gu's massive Dharma ship would hover above the spirit fields for half a day. This gave Qin Ming quite a bit of peace of mind. It seems like Spirit Feather Sect also doesn't wish for any more incidents within the spirit fields. After all, it involves the supply for the frontline battle camp. They had no choice but to care. In the 3-acre condensing flower spirit field, Qin Ming had used the ripening entry. 2 days later, green seedlings sprouted. With a nervous heart, Qin Ming looked towards the spirit field. 3 dazzling golden entries were prominent. Name, condensing flower entry. B-control technique, maturity 2%. Name, condensing flower entry. Ripening X5, maturity 3%. Name, condensing flower entry. Bloodline ancestor X1, maturity 1%. Oh my gosh! Qin Ming stared incredulously at the entries in the spirit field, lost in thought for a long time before snapping back to reality. This is what true luck looks like. Ha ha ha. A direct hit to the soul. He laughed heartily in the spirit field. Bee-control technique. Spirit plant technique. Casting this magic can guide spirit bees to pollinate spirit plants. Bloodline ancestor. Upon use, it can evolve the spirit plant into an ancestral form. Although the quality enhancement entry didn't refresh, a sharper one did instead. Qin Ming immediately took out a spirit plant book and flipped it open. The book was authored by the legendary spirit plant master Xiao Yanong, titled Spirit Plants and Wondrous Creatures. It not only recorded rare spirit herbs and plants in the cultivation realm, but also introduced the origins of various spirit grasses and plants, including Bisfong rice. The ancestor of Bisfong rice is a Tier 1 top-grade spirit plant. Blood locust rice, just a hair's breadth away from reaching the Tier 2 spirit plant level. One can imagine its rarity. Blood locust rice, its appearance is like a blood leech, with grains as red as blood, thus named. Its effect is straightforward. When consumed, it can greatly enhance a cultivator's Qi blood. Those whose Qi blood is unrefined, beware. This spirit rice is not only a dream for body-refining cultivators, but also a holy product for cultivating blood Dao techniques, hard to come by. According to the book, as early as several hundred years ago, blood locust rice had almost vanished from the cultivation realm. Only in a few unmanned regions can it be found occasionally. Blood locust rice's growth conditions are extremely stringent, surpassing those of beast fong rice. It requires continuous watering with demon beast essence blood and adequate spiritual energy. The maturity period often takes 10 years. The longer the age, the stronger the blood-enhancing effect. Qin Ming stared fixedly at the bloodline ancestor entry, secretly feeling grateful. Master Su is truly my benefactor. However, currently, he no longer has the ripening entry and can only wait for the new season of Golden Spirit Rice to refresh. In anticipation, 3 months passed. Perhaps luck was truly on Qin Ming's side. The Golden Spirit Rice Spirit Field yielded another ripening entry. Now, only the Demon Beast Essence Blood is missing. Where to get it? Qin Ming pondered deeply, pacing back and forth in his room. It's impossible to hunt demon beasts. Can't afford to take risks. Absolutely avoid impulsiveness. Thinking it over, he decided to purchase it with spirit stones. Although the price is steep, if he can cultivate blood locust rice, everything will be worth it. 2 days later, Qin Ming visited the meat stall selling demon beast meat at Qingyang Market, spending a full 150 spirit stones to buy 10 pounds of Tier 1 demon beast essence blood. I suppose this should be enough? Next, he used the ripening entry refresh from the Golden Spirit Rice Spirit Field to secretly ripen the 3 entry-bearing condensing flowers. In Qin Ming's sea of consciousness, instantly appeared 3 entry leaves, 2 green and 1 blue. To cause a spirit plant to exhibit ancestral phenomena, it truly deserves to be a blue entry. Qin Ming marveled. To ensure absolute safety, Qin Ming visited Jushuan Pavilion, spending more than 100 spirit stones at shopkeeper Liao to purchase a set of small concealment arrays. This time, he was all in not only with spirit stones, but with entries as well. He planned to use the high-level spirit rain technique too. Good steel must be used on the blade. With everything ready, Qin Ming first began to ripen the premium beast fong rice. Once this batch of beast fong rice started sprouting, Qin Ming applied the bloodline ancestor entry to it. In an instant, the spirit plants before Qin Ming's eyes began to grow wildly, and hundreds of strange plants appear before him. Moreover, a dazzling golden entry appeared. Name: Blood Locust Rice Entry. Abundant Qi Blood, maturity 30%. The original leaves of beast fong rice all withered, sprouting bamboo-like stems, producing long, leech-shaped scarlet spirit rice. Qin Ming pressed on, using ripening entries continuously. Blood locust rice truly deserves to be a Tier 1 top-grade spirit plant. Qin Ming used 3 ripening entries consecutively to fully ripen this batch of blood locust rice to 10 years of maturity. Afterward, he applied the high-level spirit rain technique, entry, and irrigated these blood locust rice with demon beast essence blood. As soon as the high-level spirit rain technique unfolded, Qin Ming's internal mana was half drained. Indeed, it's a spirit plant magic that can only be wielded in the middle to late Qi cultivation stages. Qin Ming gritted his teeth, using 2 weak Dharma power entries in succession. Boom! In midair, a cluster of dark clouds gathered, forming a whirlpool shape, crackling with thunder and lightning. This was Qin Ming's deliberate attempt to reduce the scope of the magic. Outside, its might would undoubtedly be much greater. Fortunately, shopkeeper Liao's concealment array had surprisingly effective results, fully concealing the situation within the courtyard. Without intentional detection by a high-tier cultivator, it would be difficult to discover the hidden secrets. With that, Qin Ming breathed a sigh of relief, feeling much more at ease. The blood locust rice spirit plants wriggled bizarrely under the spiritual rain formed by demon beast essence blood. They seemed to come alive, frantically absorbing the essence blood. The outer surface of the blood locust spiritual rice began to emit a bloody mist, intricately woven and persistent. Under the high-level spirit rain technique, the surrounding air's spiritual energy was suddenly drained, transforming into powerful nutrients to nourish these hundreds of spirit plants. At the branching points of blood locust rice, it surprisingly bore abundant spirit grains again. Qin Ming didn't forget to seize this rare opportunity to comprehend the casting sensations of the high-level spirit rain technique. His intermediate spirit rain technique was already highly proficient, and the next step was to touch the threshold of the high-level spirit rain technique. Half a month later, under Qin Ming's tireless irrigation, all blood locust rice completely matured. In Qin Ming's sea of consciousness, all entries were spent, leaving only these. B control technique. Weak Qi blood X2. Abundant Qi blood X1. After harvesting the spirit rice, Qin Ming meticulously cleared and covered all planting traces in the courtyard. This matter must not be discovered by anyone. Finishing all this, with his spiritual sense, Qin Ming gazed at the blood locust rice in his storage pouch, his heart filled with excitement. He licked his lips, smiled slightly, and said, "Next, I'll taste this legendary blood locust rice and find out what it truly tastes like." Qin Ming sat cross-legged on the grass-woven mat in the room. In his hand, he held a bowl of blood locust rice. The spirit rice grains, resembling insects, emitted a blood-red aura, casting a crimson glow on Qin Ming's face. Qin Ming grinned, joy of harvest welled in his heart. Just a sniff filled him with a pervasive Qi blood power. Eating blood locust rice demands high physical Qi blood strength from cultivators. It must not be consumed excessively. With Qin Ming's current Qi blood strength, this bowl of blood locust rice should barely be within his capacity. He scooped a spoonful of blood locust rice into his mouth. Boom! A surge of overwhelming Qi blood power rushed straight to his crown. Though Qin Ming was prepared, he nearly couldn't withstand it. Hurriedly, he began channeling Qi blood according to the 100 Treasures glazed scripture, refining marrow and exchanging blood. In an instant, thick blood mist began to rise around Qin. Inside, he felt intolerable itching, as if countless insects were wriggling under his skin. He felt his blood boiling and bubbling throughout his body. Through continual compression and refining of Qi blood, Qin Ming's internal Qi blood gradually began to thicken. He finished off the remaining blood locust rice. Instantly, his entire Qi blood power reached a pinnacle. Boom! Qin Ming opened his eyes, shedding layers of scabs formed during blood exchange on his skin. 100 Treasures glazed scripture, 4th layer, breakthrough. Finally, Qin Ming felt the powerful Qi blood surging within him. His heart thrilled. Stepping into the 4th layer is equivalent to mid-stage body refining. In just a year, Qin Ming had undergone such a significant transformation. Even he found it a bit unbelievable. The 4th layer is still not enough. I must strive to quickly break through to the 5th layer. Qin Ming clenched his fist, thinking to himself. In the days that followed, besides tending the spirit fields, Qin Ming intensely practiced the 100 Treasures glazed scripture. He stayed secluded, making rapid progress in body refining with the support of blood locust rice. As he diligently cultivated, time swiftly passed. After another half a year, inside the room, Qin Ming had his eyes tightly shut. Through repeated marrow refining and blood exchange during these days, his internal Qi blood grew increasingly compressed and refined. Now his Qi blood power had reached an unprecedented height. Only the final barrier remained before breaking through to the 5th layer. Without hesitation, Qin Ming utilized the abundant Qi blood within his sea of consciousness. In an instant, everything turned black before his eyes, like a rushing sea overwhelming him. The pressure almost made Qin Ming gasp for breath. The Qi blood boost from abundant Qi blood was immense, nearly comparable to blood locust rice. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Suddenly, The sound of Qi blood continuously flowing echoed in Qin Ming's ears. The scene before him suddenly transformed. His spiritual sense took an internal view, discovering his body now resembled a boundless sea of blood. The Qi blood was thick as mercury slurry. The mystical Qi blood power enveloped him. Qin Ming stood amidst it, appearing insignificantly small. Abruptly, from deep within the blood sea, a massive tsunami began to surge. Waves surged, instantly immersing Qin Ming. Boom! Qin Ming's mind exploded, a sound of ringing echoing in his ears. His internal Qi blood power underwent a transformation again, continuously strengthening his flesh, bones, and physique. A layer of treasure light, resembling glaze, gradually appeared around Qin Ming, like a robe, covering every inch of skin. This was the glazed treasure robe, formed with Qin Ming's vast Qi blood power, having reached Qi blood as mercury slurry. The moment the robe congealed marked his entry into the fifth layer of the 100 Treasures glaze scripture. Body refining completely transcended. Qin Ming's current strength far surpassed body refining cultivators at the same stage. He took out the Cyan Spirit Dharma sword, forcefully slashed his skin, only to see his skin reveal a trace of white mark, then vanish. Seems ordinary magical artifacts can no longer harm me. Qin Ming felt immense joy. An inexplicable sense of security emerged. More importantly, the glazed treasure robe possesses a Dharma-defying effect. The fifth layer is so formidable. The power described in the scripture is indeed true. I've completed the first 5 layers of the 100 Treasures glazed scripture. I must quickly obtain the remaining 4 layers from fellow Taoist Ruan. Feeling his strength surge, Qin Ming couldn't help but anticipate the subsequent cultivation techniques. His quick breakthrough was mainly attributed to the tremendous Qi blood boost from blood locust rice. Otherwise, acquiring the spiritual materials demanded by the 100 Treasures glazed scripture, reaching this realm might have taken unknowable time. Qin Ming felt incredibly elated. After a bout of washing up, Qin Ming's blood aura withdrew, hidden within. His skin still appeared as a spirit farmer, slightly tinged with malt color. But his essence, Qi, and spirit were starkly different from before. He now exuded restraint, yet his gaze was spirited. Now, I finally have some means of self-preservation in this chaotic cultivation world. This is the first card I've held since entering the cultivation realm all these years. Alas, it really hasn't been easy. Qin Ming's tension from the recent days plagued by tribulation cultivators had eased considerably. His tense nerves finally released the heavy burden. With just 2 more months, the acre of beast fong rice in Qin Ming's spirit field was about to mature. By then, he could not only exchange for the remaining cultivation techniques of the 100 Treasures glazed scripture, but also be promoted to a Tier 1 low-grade spirit plant master, enjoying Spirit Feather Sect's policy of having spirit rice tax from now on. Not only would his status among spirit farmers greatly enhance, additionally, he would gain a considerable increase in spirit rice income. However, to rise to a Tier 1 spirit plant master, he also needed to pass a Sect's knowledge assessment for spirit plant masters. Regarding successfully cultivating Tier 1 spirit plants, he's already grown beast fong rice and condensing flour. These have been registered and reported by the Spirit Feather Sect's record officer. Now only the spirit plant knowledge assessment remains. Aiming for Tier 1 spirit plant master is still Qin Ming's plan. After all, having this reputation would bring various conveniences in future cultivation life. After the body refining breakthrough, Qin Ming lacked follow-up cultivation techniques. He had no choice but to patiently wait for 2 months until the beast fong rice matured. During this period, Qin Ming avidly reinforced his spirit plant knowledge, preparing for the assessment. Besides that, he was also learning the alchemy skill. He purchased a small pill furnace from shopkeeper Liao, trying to practice refining some basic pills. All ended in failure. Seems without guidance, reading books alone isn't enough. Qin Ming looked at the pitch-black spiritual materials inside the furnace, helplessly letting out a long sigh. Alchemy truly needed talent. He found himself to be mediocre in this aspect as well. It seemed he could only wait and eventually plant large numbers of spirit grass to accumulate experience. Hopefully, when an yin-condensing flower matures, Master Su might offer some guidance. 2 months later, Qin Ming stood under a large tree near the spirit field. He looked up at a clay-yellow beehive on the tree, which was as large as a pot lid. Buzz, 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 buzz. Tens of thousands of bees densely swarmed around the hive, ceaselessly flying. It was enough to make one's scalp tingle. Each bee was as large as a little finger, completely snow-white, with 2 pairs of wings, and a tail with an almost transparent sting that concealed a hard-to-defend against poison. If one didn't observe carefully, it would truly be hard to detect. This was the 4-winged frost bee unique to Yunhuang Marsh, though not of any grade. It couldn't be held back due to the vast numbers. If attacked by the swarm, the sting's venom could even temporarily paralyze a cultivator's mana flow. Of course, Qin Ming was now fearless of these insects. He was merely observing where the queen bee was to facilitate using the bee control technique. As long as he controlled the queen bee, he could instruct the swarm. Found it! Qin Ming's eyes brightened. He fashioned a strange spell with his hand and cast it towards the lower right corner inside the hive. The bee control technique entry in his sea of consciousness was used. A frost bee, 5 times larger than an ordinary bee, was sleeping. Suddenly, it felt a dizziness in its head. A trace of confusion appeared in its eyes. Qin Ming successfully cast the spell, smiling with delight. He could clearly feel he had established a mysterious connection with that frost bee queen bee. Immediately, Qin Ming issued a command to the queen bee. The swarm of bees suddenly flew out of the hive, heading towards the 3 acres of yin-condensing flower spirit field planted by Qin Ming. It really works. Qin Ming was elated. He then promptly gave an order to the frost bee queen bee for the swarm to pollinate the yin-condensing flowers. Very soon, the frost bee swarm busied themselves around the 3 acres of yin-condensing flower spirit field. Qin Ming looked at the spirit field, nodding with satisfaction. Originally, Master Su only required him to successfully cultivate 1/10. Now the survival rate had reached a terrifying 90%. Moreover, once the 7-day flowering period and pollination ended, the quality of the spirit herbs would presumably not be too poor. Qin Ming was quite confident in this. In the 3 acres of yin-condensing flower spirit field, each acre had nearly 100 mature plants, totaling about 300 yin-condensing flowers to be harvested. If calculated according to Master Su's offer of 5 spirit stones per plant back then, it was already over 1,000 spirit stones. Qin Ming pondered, maybe he should develop in the direction of planting spirit herbs and medicines. 7 days later, the continuous 7 days of pollination came to an end. The yin-condensing flowers emitted a rich fragrance and could be harvested. Qin Ming sent a communication talisman to Master Su. Soon, Master Su, in a white robe, leisurely came up carrying a small bamboo basket. But when he saw the scene of 3 acres of blooming yin-condensing flowers, his expression was quite marvelous. "Did you grow all this?" Master Su pointed at the spirit field, looking at Qin Ming, his tone filled with disbelief. Qin Ming chuckled. "Lucky? Just purely lucky to grow it." Master Su glared at him. "Who are you kidding? Luck that all 7 days of consecutive pollination could be entirely successful." Then he carefully picked one yin-condensing flower and observed it closely. Not bad. The quality of the yin-condensing flower is top-notch, suitable for medicine and alchemy. Afterward, Master Su turned and assessed Qin Ming, slowly saying, "Hard to believe, fellow Taoist Qin has such high spirit plant talent. Being a spirit farmer here is truly a bit of a waste of talent." Qin Ming waved his hand, smiling bitterly. "Master Su overpraises me. It's just good luck. But with such a large number of yin-condensing flowers, I owe you quite a favor." Master Su then slowly said, "I don't like owing people favors. How about this? Normally when I make pills, I'll allow you to observe on the side, but I won't teach you hand in hand How much you learn depends on you. How's that? Master Su pondered for a while before earnestly saying to Qin Ming. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming was instantly overjoyed. He had worked hard for a whole year, waiting just for this sentence. Qin Ming still couldn't forget the taste of those 2 spirit-gathering pills from Master Su. He even dreamt of one day being able to make pills to enhance his cultivation. Then I won't be polite. Qin Ming cupped his fist, thanking Master Su. Soon after, the two began to harvest the Eam condensing flowers. A total of 320 Eam condensing flowers harvested. As agreed before, 9 for me, 1 for you. Master Su immediately took out 32 flowers from the bamboo basket and handed them to Qin Ming. Remember to store these Eam condensing flowers in a jade box to preserve them, or their medicinal properties will be lost. Qin Ming took the Eam condensing flowers, carefully storing them away. Then, Master Su bid farewell and left, informing Qin Ming that he would notify him through a communication talisman when he was making pills. Qin Ming did not rush to leave. Instead, he returned the swarm of 4-winged frost bees to their original place. After so many days of pollination, these frost bees were not exhausted. Instead, each appeared very lively. These bees might be useful someday for planting spirit herbs. Let them be for now, and I'll buy a spirit beast bag another day to take them. 2 days later, the spirit rice in the spirit field was also fully mature. Steward Gu of the Spirit Feather Sect brought disciples, as usual, to collect the spirit rice. During this season, Qin Ming's Beast Fong rice was fully mature. Naturally, it became the focal point for this spirit rice collection. Soon, 4 acres of golden spirit rice and 1 acre of Beast Fong rice were all harvested. Du Haifu took out the Great Dipper spiritual artifact to weigh, then said to Qin Ming, "A total of 12 stone and 80 pounds of golden spirit rice harvested. Beast Fong rice, a total of 4 stone and 10 pounds harvested." After reporting the numbers, Du Haifu approached Qin Ming with a grin and said, "Congratulations, fellow Taoist Qin, on completing the Beast Fong rice harvest. From now on, you can enjoy half the spirit rice tax reduction." Qin Ming was quite puzzled. This time, Du Haifu, the local ruler of the spirit farmers, even changed how he addressed him. He didn't call him Little Qin, and Qin Ming was momentarily unresponsive. "I hope Supervisor Du will continue to take care of me in the future," Qin Ming replied. "Fellow Taoist Qin, here's the identity plaque for the Spirit Plant Master Evaluation exam. You can choose the time to go to the Qingyang Market to complete the exam at the Spirit Feather Sect Steward Hall." Du Haifu took out a wooden plaque and handed it to Qin Ming. "Haha, I want to congratulate fellow Taoist Qin in advance for stepping into the ranks of a Tier 1 Spirit Plant Master." Qin Ming looked at the wooden plaque. His name was engraved on the front, and the back had a spirit plant pattern. He checked it with his spiritual sense and saw it recorded that his planting of Tier 1 Spirit Plant Beast Fong rice was completed. Spirit Plant Knowledge Exam, pending completion. The people from the Spirit Feather Sect finished collecting taxes and left, taking away the lowest-ranking spirit farmers, as usual. After paying the taxes, this season Qin Ming was left with over 600 pounds of golden spirit rice and 210 pounds of Beast Fong rice. This was quite an income for him. "Little Qin, remember you promised. You should invite me to Jushuan Pavilion for a drink. Come on, let's celebrate your becoming a Tier 1 Spirit Plant Master." Kai the Ninth chuckled as he came over, filled with envy. "All right, I'll treat you." Qin Ming was in a good mood, chuckled awkwardly, and nodded. Coincidentally, he also had to go to shopkeeper Liao to sell the spirit rice and inquire about moving to live in Qingyang Market. Additionally, he needed to visit fellow Taoist Ruan to obtain the later 4 layers of the 100 Treasures Glaze scriptured. Qingyang Market. Inside the private room of Jushuan Pavilion, Qin Ming ordered a table of fine wine and dishes, and together with Kai the Ninth, they enjoyed it heartily. Shopkeeper Liao sat nearby, smiling, accompanying the two in their drinking. He naturally knew that their visit wasn't just for the wine and food. Shopkeeper Liao had long coveted Qin Ming's Beast Fong rice. After 3 rounds of drinks, Qin Ming and Kai the Ninth were both satisfied and full. Only then did shopkeeper Liao rub his hands together, smiling as he said, "Fellow Taoist Qin, about that thing you promised, the beast fong rice." Qin Ming took a sip of wine, then leisurely took out the golden spirit rice and beast fong rice. Over 500 pounds of golden spirit rice, 100 pounds of beast fong rice, all here. Shopkeeper Liao's eyes shone, almost ignoring the golden spirit rice, with only eyes for the bag of beast fong rice. He reached in to take a few grains of the white with red tint beast fong rice, carefully scrutinizing them. A long time passed. "Ah, fellow Taoist Qin, your beast fong rice is indeed excellent, top quality, almost reaching high-grade level." He saw the streak of bright red inside the beast fong rice becoming more vivid. Even though shopkeeper Liao was usually shrewd and composed, a trace of excitement appeared on his face at this moment. In all his years in business, it was his first time encountering beast fong spirit rice of such high quality. If handled well, the price of this batch of beast fong rice could multiply several times, with extremely attractive profit margins. The key is, he had now established a good relationship with Qin Ming, allowing him to firmly grasp an exclusive supply channel for beast fong rice. With Qin Ming's spirit plant mastery, long-term cultivation of beast fong rice would be within reach. As a result, a significant achievement would be added to the records of Jushuan Pavilion. Should the pavilion master be pleased, perhaps his long-held position could even advance. With that thought, shopkeeper Liao seemed to understand something, forming a certain resolution. "Fellow Taoist Qin, I can make the decision to purchase this batch of beast fong rice at a price 20% above market value. That is 6 spirit stones per pound of beast fong rice. How does that sound?" Qin Ming pondered for a moment, without replying directly. Seeing this, shopkeeper Liao quickly stepped forward, took out a jade token from his storage pouch, and solemnly handed it to Qin Ming, saying, "This is the Jushuan Pavilion's discount card. With this card, fellow Taoist Qin can enjoy a 20% discount on all purchases at Jushuan Pavilion or its other branches." Qin Ming took the jade token, examined it carefully, then nodded in agreement. "Deal." Seeing the deal done, shopkeeper Liao beamed with joy. He promptly took out the Great Dipper spiritual artifact to weigh the goods. 500 pounds of golden spirit rice, priced at 170 spirit stones. 105 pounds of beast fong rice, priced at 630 spirit stones. A total of 800 low-grade spirit stones. Having calculated, shopkeeper Liao efficiently handed over the spirit stones to Qin Ming. Qin Ming accepted the spirit stones and stored them in his storage pouch. With 800 spirit stones now in his possession, he felt more confident. Beside him, Kai IX, seeing so many spirit stones, couldn't help but drool with envy on his face. Shopkeeper Liao then cheerfully asked, "Fellow Taoist Qin, is there anything else you need to purchase?" "Not for the moment," replied Qin Ming with a blank expression. "By the way, any news lately?" Qin Ming suddenly asked again. Shopkeeper Liao was momentarily stunned before replying. "It's the same as always. The Spirit Feather Sect is still busy repairing the teleportation array, estimated not to be fixed anytime soon." He replied softly without further elaboration. Qin Ming nodded. This time, selling 100 pounds of beast fong rice to shopkeeper Liao was intentionally to showcase a bit of his worth. Shopkeeper Liao's background wasn't small, and he could access upper-tier news and trends. Qin Ming himself would definitely need to inquire about some Cultivation Realm information from him in the future. Subsequently, Kai IX also sold 200 pounds of golden spirit rice to shopkeeper Liao. After the transaction, when Qin Ming was preparing to pay and leave, shopkeeper Liao was very straightforward, offering a 20% discount and only charging 5 spirit stones, even gifting a small jug of spirit wine. Thereafter, shopkeeper Liao smilingly saw the two out of the shop. Leaving the store, Qin Ming planned to visit the Steward Hall of the Spirit Feather Sect to attend the Spirit Plant Knowledge Assessment for the promotion to Tier 1 Spirit Plant Master. He bade farewell to Kai IX, and the two parted ways, each going about their own business. Qin Ming arrived alone at the Steward Hall. The assessment went smoothly, taking just an hour to complete. It mainly involves some basic knowledge of cultivating spirit plants, along with an essay on cultivating Tier 1 spirit plants. The spirit plant master responsible for the assessment quickly provided the results, pass, and immediately stamped Qin Ming's spirit plant master identification wooden token with an official mana seal. The spirit plant on the back of the spirit plant master's wooden token had one of its leaves lit up, signifying his status as a Tier 1 low-grade spirit plant master. To advance to a middle-grade spirit plant master, you need to successfully cultivate more than 3 types of Tier 1 middle-grade spirit plants. You may return here for promotion when the time comes. The Spirit Feather Sect's steward responsible for the assessment took another look at the young Qin Ming, instructing him. Yes, thank you, steward. Qin Ming respectfully bowed and left the steward hall. Qin Ming walked along the market street, played with the spirit plant master's identification wooden token for a while, and stored it back in his storage pouch. My goodness, such a coincidence. Fellow Taoist, don't rush off. 2 spirit stones per person interested. The road to the Yuan family mansion passed by the nearby entertainment venue. The same alluring green-robed female cultivator batted her eyes fiercely at Qin Ming, constantly beckoning with her words. Qin Ming kept his eyes forward, ignoring her, and walked in the direction of the Yuan family mansion. Bah! No fun at all, the green-robed female cultivator spat. Just after she spoke, 2 people emerged from the door behind her, one of whom was the same bearded man. Another one didn't bite. The Yuan family mansion, near the center of Qingyang Market. Along the way, several alleyways have been built with numerous houses, each a standalone, sizable courtyard. Equipped with all sorts of facilities, featuring private quiet chambers for cultivation, refining rooms for various cultivation techniques, and so forth. Moreover, the entire courtyard is covered by an isolation detection array to prevent prying. After all, in the cultivation realm, privacy and safety are crucial for cultivators. Those who can rent and live here often have deep backgrounds, mid to late-stage cultivators, or even cultivators with Qi cultivation perfection. Qin Ming inquired about the rental situation of houses here in passing. He learned that the rental prices in the market have soared since last year, increasing several times compared to previous years. Nowadays, the poorest houses in Qingyang Market need 300 spirit stones a year in rent. Qin Ming secretly clicked his tongue in surprise. Moreover, the houses in Qingyang Market are all fully rented. If there's a vacancy, one has to apply for a spot from the steward hall of the Spirit Feather Sect. It said that the queue for applying for a housing rental spot in the market has reached over 900 this year. Qin Ming, he initially thought, the rents in the market were already absurdly high, and even at such prices. He didn't expect that spots still needed to be competed for. Sigh, if it weren't for the protection offered by the Tier 2 array in the market, not even a dog would rent here. He2A. At the gate of the Yuan family mansion. Knock, knock, knock. Qin Ming knocked on the door for a long time, but no one responded from inside. He immediately sent a communication talisman to fellow Taoist Yuan. A short while later, Qin Ming received a reply to his communication talisman from the other side. Fellow Taoist Qin, I'm truly sorry. I have some matters to attend to outside and won't be able to return home shortly. How about I give you an address, and you take a trip? It's not far. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming furrowed his brow. He pondered for a moment, but in the end, he cautiously replied, Fellow Taoist Yuan, things aren't very safe outside now. How about I wait a bit longer? Whenever you return, just let me know. Why has fellow Taoist Yuan gone out again? Qin Ming didn't expect that he would once again come up empty-handed. Having experienced the changes brought by the 100 Treasures glazed scripture, he was itching to get the remaining cultivation techniques. It seemed he could only wait a little longer. Qin Ming strolled around other shops in the market, bought a spirit beast bag and some meats, and returned to the Shanty district. The next day, Qin Ming made a breakfast using golden spirit rice and demon beast meat. He was just about to start eating. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock at the door outside. He peeked through the crack in the door. It was a neighbor from nearby, someone he usually didn't have much interaction with. However, out of courtesy, Qin Ming still invited him in. Haha, I heard fellow Taoist Qin has become a Tier 1 spirit plant master, so I came specially to offer my congratulations. A small gift, just a token, please accept it. After saying this, the visitor handed over a small bag of gifts to Qin Ming. Seeing the other party's enthusiasm, Qin Ming couldn't refuse, so he thanked him and accepted. When that neighbor's gaze fell on Qin Ming's dining table and saw the meal made with demon beast meat and spirit rice, a look of undisguised envy appeared on his face. After a bit of small talk, the man considered his visit a success and took his leave. Qin Ming finished eating and was about to wash the dishes. Knock, knock, knock. There was another knock at the door. Qin Ming furrowed his brows, muttering, "What's happening today?" He, as usual, took a peek through the door crack. What a surprise. It turned out to be his female neighbor, Li Yanli. At that moment, she was dressed exquisitely and also holding a small package. Seeing her like this, Qin Ming relaxed. Fortunately, she must be here just to visit, just socializing, not here for anything else. Li Yanli entered the house, also congratulated Qin Ming, and left after chatting briefly. Her face had become somewhat haggard recently, and although she had some makeup on, Qin Ming noticed it immediately. It seems she still hasn't gotten over fellow Taoist Long's death. Without fellow Taoist Long, her major support, her future days are probably going to be tough. Qin Ming didn't ask her to stay. As she left, Li Yanli cast a sorrowful and resentful glance back. In the following few days, quite a few nearby cultivators came by to visit and socialize. This gave Qin Ming a bit of a headache. He was not fond of these sorts of social obligations. Although their gifts weren't particularly valuable, Qin Ming couldn't refuse their goodwill and thank them all. On this day, Qin Ming was sitting on a mat, cultivating. His communication talisman suddenly activated. He stopped cultivating, opened his eyes, and checked the message. Fellow Taoist Qin, are you available now? I'm just passing by the market, but I have urgent matters to attend to and don't have time to go home. I won't be returning to the market for a short 1 to 2 years, maybe even 3 to 5 years. If you are available, we can complete the transaction. Don't worry, fellow Taoist Qin. I happen to meet some acquaintances in the Spirit Feather Sect patrol team who are here right now. Qin Ming hesitated for a moment and sent a message. Where shall we meet? On the road east of the market. All right, I'm coming over. After sending the message, Qin Ming packed up his things and left the house. As he passed the river by the Shanty district, several middle-aged female cultivators were doing laundry. When they saw Qin Ming, they didn't greet him. Only after he walked away did they look askance and say sourly, just a Tier 1 spirit plant master, right? It's not like he became a Tier 1 alchemist. What's there to be so arrogant about? Her voice was quite loud, and Qin Ming wasn't too far away, so he heard it all. Qin Ming curled his lips and ignored her. A cup of tea's time later, Qin Ming arrived near the location given by fellow Taoist Ruan. He didn't rush to show himself, but observed from a distance first. Cold wind brushed his face, the wild grass swayed. On both sides of the road were endless stretches of wild grass and open fields. Not far on the road, a few silhouettes appeared in his view. Fellow Taoist Ruan was smiling as he chatted with 2 members of the Spirit Feather Sect patrol team. Qin Ming focused his gaze. He recognized the 2 Spirit Feather Sect patrol members. They often patrolled the alleys of the Shanty district and were familiar faces. So it's them. This dissolved his doubts. Qin Ming stepped out and walked directly towards the group. Oh, fellow Taoist Qin is here. Please wait a moment. I have a little thing to handle. I'll be right back. As soon as fellow Taoist Ruan saw Qin Ming, he showed a delighted expression and quickly excused himself from the 2 Spirit Feather Sect patrol members, walking towards him. Fellow Taoist Qin, apologies. I've been busy with important matters recently and cannot free myself. Fellow Taoist Ruan cupped his hands towards Qin Ming. No problem, fellow Taoist Ruan. You have the goods with you, right? Qin Ming forced a smile on his face. Of course, by the way. Fellow Taoist Qin's beast fong rice should be mature by now, right? Fellow Taoist Ruan asked expectantly. Qin Ming patted his storage pouch and took out a small bag of beast fong rice, just 10 pounds. He opened the bag to show the other party. The white spirit rice, the size of a dog's tooth, with a red tinge inside and a captivating fragrance. Indeed, it's beast fong rice, and of excellent quality. A trace of barely noticeable greed flashed in fellow Taoist Ruan's eyes. May I ask, fellow Taoist Qin, the yield of this beast fong rice must be quite good, not just these 10 pounds. Hearing this, Qin Ming frowned. Fellow Taoist Ruan, however much beast fong rice I cultivated doesn't seem to concern you, does it? Ha, of course not. I was just casually asking. Fellow Taoist Ruan laughed awkwardly. With that, he took the piece of beast hide inscribed with the 100 treasures glazed scripture from his storage pouch. Both parties exchanged the hide for the rice. With the beast hide in hand, after confirming it was authentic, Qin Ming was about to let out a sigh of relief. Something's wrong. The aura circulating his qi blood suddenly sensed a strong, killing intent. This information was directly and accurately transmitted to his mind. Although Qin Ming noticed something was amiss, he remained calm, pretending to be engrossed in the beast hide scripture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were actually 5 distinct threads of killing intent focused on him. Among them, 3 came from fellow Taoist Ruan and the 2 Spirit Feather Sect patrol cultivators. The sources of the other 2 killing intents had not yet revealed themselves. In just a moment, Qin Ming realized his perilous situation. Yet his face showed no sign of panic. Fellow Taoist Ruan is at Qi Cultivation Middle Stage 5th Layer, while the 2 from the Spirit Feather Sect Patrol are at Qi Cultivation 5th Layer and 6th Layer. As for the 2 hidden figures, Qin Ming couldn't sense their mana. Soon, countless thoughts flashed through Qin's mind. In just a few breaths, a barely discernible fierce glint appeared in Qin Ming's eyes. He immediately made a decision. Qin Ming remained calm and slowly put away the beast hide scripture in his hand. A slight smile appeared on his face. Then he took out a small brocade pouch from a storage pouch. Bowing to the 2 Spirit Feather Sect patrol cultivators beside him, he said, "Thank you both for your hard work. This is a small token of my appreciation. Please take extra care when passing through the alley." With that, he was about to offer the item in his hand. The 2 of them looked at Qin Ming's actions and exchanged glances. There was a hint of mockery at the corners of their mouths. At this moment, Qin Ming was only a few steps away from them, just as he was about to move. "Oh ho, isn't this the gentleman? What are you doing here? Do you enjoy playing outdoor games? You should have said so earlier." An eerie and sarcastic voice echoed. Qin Ming turned his head at the sound, only to see the voice's owner was the green-robed, seductive woman from the brothel. She now revealed a Qi Cultivation 4th Layer. Beside her stood a burly man with a fierce look in his eyes at the Qi Cultivation 5th Layer, who was staring intently at Qin Ming. It was obvious. These 5 people were in cahoots, tribulation cultivators. This kid is truly cowardly as hell. I've tried to lure him out several times, but he refused. If it weren't for the 2 patrol cultivators taking the risk of exposure, we couldn't have gotten him. At this time, fellow Taoist Ruan no longer pretended, revealing his true colors, licking his lips while looking playfully at Qin Ming. "Finish him quickly and take the stuff, to prevent any changes," the burly man said in a rough voice. "Just this kid." The Spirit Feather Sect patrol cultivator at Qi Cultivation 5th Layer sneered. Qin Ming, a mere Qi Cultivation 3rd Layer spirit farmer, was hardly worth his attention. The 5 of them formed a circle surrounding Qin Ming. Suddenly, Qin Ming struck first. He bent his knees to gather strength and leaped up. With a pat on the storage pouch in his hand, he intended to draw the Cyan Spirit Dharma sword. But in his haste, he mistakenly pulled out a spiritual shovel instead. Qin Ming didn't care about this. He infused the spiritual shovel with Qi blood power. With a powerful swing of his arm, the muscles on his forearm bulged like steel. Without thinking, the Qi blood power erupted. He decisively swung the shovel at the nearest Spirit Feather Sect patrol cultivator. The Spirit Feather Sect cultivator was surprised by Qin Ming's unexpected speed. His eyes blinked, and Qin Ming's figure flickered, disappearing in an instant. not daring to underestimate him anymore. Quickly forming a seal with his hands, he cast a blue mana shield around himself. In just one hit, the mana shield created by the Spirit Feather Sect cultivator shattered under Qin Ming's shovel, as if it were made of paper. It broke upon contact. The Spirit Feather Sect cultivator, surprised, quickly took out a golden light protective talisman, creating another golden shield around himself. Another hit. The speed of the spiritual shovel in Qin Ming's hand did not slow down at all. The opponent's golden light protective talisman couldn't last a breath. It shattered again. Swish! With one shovel. The Spirit Feather Sect Qi Cultivation 5th Layer Cultivator was trapped in close combat by Qin Ming. In panic, he stepped back, only to have Qin Ming's spiritual shovel strike him in the neck. It pierced right through. Splat! The cultivator fell on his back, clutching his neck, convulsing, kicking, and gasped his last. This scene happened too suddenly. In just a blink, the overconfident Spirit Feather Sect cultivator was instantly killed by Qin Ming. So much so that the surrounding people were caught off guard. Oh no, it's a body cultivator. Retreat quickly. Another Spirit Feather Sect Qi Cultivation 6th Layer cultivator retreated swiftly while immediately casting an intermediate wind blade technique straight at Qin Ming. Facing this, Qin Ming showed no fear. The Qi blood power erupted around him. A glazed treasure robe formed from Qi blood power covered him. He leaped up again. In the next moment, the intermediate wind blade struck Qin Ming's chest. Boom! It made a loud noise, but it was like a stone sinking in the sea, not even causing a ripple. Dharma-defying. Impossible. The Spirit Feather Sect cultivator's eyes widened in disbelief. Fellow Taoist Ruan and the green-robed female cultivator, along with another, no longer held back, attacking Qin Ming with all their might from behind. Qin Ming ignored the three behind him. His eyes were locked on the Qi Cultivation 6th Layer cultivator from the Spirit Feather Sect, with a swing of his spiritual shovel towards him. Clang! The Spirit Feather Sect cultivator pulled out a black, round, defensive spiritual artifact and protected himself. Qin Ming's spiritual shovel struck the round shield, sparking a burst of flames. However, the cultivator was sent flying with his shield over 10 zhang away by the strike. Boom! He slammed into a small mound not far off. Cough! He spat a mouthful of blood, eyes filled with terror. What a terrifying force! It was as if a gigantic demon beast had crashed head-on into him. Qin Ming leaped into the air, constantly shifting to evade the attacks from behind. Several unavoidable magic attacks hit Qin Ming, but they caused him no substantial harm. In an instant, Qin Ming dashed forward, blinking to the Qi Cultivation 6th Layer cultivator from the Spirit Feather Sect, reaching out to grab him. The cultivator still wanted to resist, but Qin Ming grabbed his hand and forcefully pressed it down. The strength of a Qi cultivator is nothing compared to Qin Ming, a body-refining cultivator. In Qin Ming's hands, he was like a rag doll, easily manipulated. Qin Ming kicked him to the ground and stomped down violently. Raising the spiritual shovel in his hand again, he viciously stabbed at his head. Thud! 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 The Spirit Feather Sect cultivator's head was completely smashed to a pulp by Qin Ming with a spiritual shovel in his hand. Life snuffed out. Behind him, fellow Taoist Ruan and the other two were scared out of their wits. Even a Qi Cultivation 6th Layer cultivator couldn't withstand a single blow. Is this the strength expected of a spirit farmer? Glazed treasure robe. 5th layer. Impossible. How could you possibly have reached the 5th layer so quickly? Fellow Taoist Ruan finally panicked, realizing something, hurriedly summoning a flying ship spiritual artifact, attempting to flee. Qin Ming couldn't let him escape. He swung the spiritual shovel in his hand, hurling it out, leaving a trail in the air. Swoosh! The spiritual shovel accurately struck fellow Taoist Ruan, slicing off one of his legs. Fellow Taoist Ruan plummeted from midair. He let out a miserable cry, falling face up on the ground. No, please. Fellow Taoist Ruan, pressing the ground with both hands, struggled fiercely. Qin Ming leaped forward, picking up the spiritual shovel, standing before fellow Taoist Ruan without a hint of hesitation. Thud! He directly severed his neck. A large head flew into the air. Blood spurted more than a foot high. The green-robed, enchanting woman and the bearded man turned pale at the sight. They split up and fled in different directions. But in terms of speed, neither of them was a match for Qin Ming. With a few swift leaps, Qin Ming reached the bearded man from behind. He extended his right hand, pulling at the man's neck, yanking him back forcefully. The bearded man lost his balance and fell instantly. This Taoist, please no, don't kill me. It was all fellow Taoist Ruan's doing, secretly divulging the issue of the beast fong rice you had. A fierce gleam flashed in Qin Ming's eyes. He swung the shovel up suddenly. Slice! The spiritual shovel cut through, slicing open half of the bearded man's neck. Qin Ming then turned his head sharply. Once again, he aimed the spiritual shovel at the green-robed, enchanting woman, throwing it out. Swoosh! The spiritual shovel pierced through the air, stabbing her through the back. The tremendous force didn't lessen, pinning her directly to the ground. On the wilderness path, Qin Ming was soaked in blood, filled with murderous intent. After that, he searched out the storage pouches of the five and cast a fireball technique towards the corpses, obliterating them. He meticulously erased the traces. After ensuring there was no trace left, he turned around and disappeared down the road. With just this bit of strength, you dare to be a tribulation cultivator? Qin Ming returned to his shack in the slum area. He opened the acquired storage pouch and started inspecting it. In the storage pouches of the two cultivators from the Spirit Feather Sect, there were over 500 spirit stones, 2 low-grade magical artifacts, 1 middle-grade magical artifact, a few low-grade talismans, and 2 middle-grade talismans. 1 middle-grade golden spear talisman and 1 middle-grade fire cloud talisman. The two of them didn't even have the chance to use them before they died. The only middle-grade magical artifact was that jet-black round shield defensive artifact split open by Qin Ming with a single chop. A crack appeared on the round shield artifact, but it seemed reparable. Apart from these, there were also 5 bottles of pills, except for 2 bottles of chi-nourishing pills. The other 3 were all antitoxic pills and the like. The cultivation techniques and magic books they practiced were also inside, which Qin Ming had no use for. Altogether, the spirit stones in the storage pouches of the other 3 amounted to over 600 pieces. The rest were 3 low-grade magical artifacts and some low-grade talismans. This time, just from the spirit stones alone, he gained over 1,000 pieces. Indeed, wealth comes from killing and arson. Qin Ming mused. He packed all the valuable items from the 5 individuals into his own storage pouch. The rest of the items were burned up with a fireball technique. After finishing all this, Qin Ming began pondering how these 5 people ended up together. From the words of the big, bearded man, fellow Taoist Ruan should have found them later. Coveting his beast fong rice, they planned to conspire against him. Moreover, for a cultivator from a Spirit Feather Sect to be in close contact with a tribulation cultivator was quite terrifying. There might be something deeper hidden within. However, as long as they don't bother him, it doesn't concern him. For now, he just wants to focus on farming. If Qin Ming hadn't broken through to the body refining 5th layer, today it might have been others counting his storage pouch. The ending would have been entirely different. 2 days later, the atmosphere in the slum area tensed up once again. 2 people from the Spirit Feather Sect's patrol team suddenly died, causing a considerable uproar. This was a blatant provocation against the sect. The Spirit Feather Sect began enforcing martial law and searching around the market. This tribulation cultivator is really too arrogant. Last time he killed fellow Taoist Long and threw the body into the river as a demonstration. This time he directly attacked people from Spirit Feather Sect. It's simply audacious beyond measure. Exactly, it's frightening. Hearing the discussions of the nearby residents in the alley, the corners of Qin Ming's mouth couldn't help but twitch. He grabbed his spiritual hoe and headed out to work. After turning his 5 acres of spirit field, He also turned Master Su's 3 acres. Following that, Qin Ming collected the entire swarm of 4-winged frost bees from the big tree into his spirit beast bag. This swarm of bees, he would have great use for them later if he planted spirit grass. The bee control technique was easy to use. He grasped the trick with just a single attempt. As soon as he finished his chores, a message came from Master Su, informing Qin Ming he was about to start pill refining. He wanted Qin Ming to come over to his place. Upon hearing this news, Qin Ming's heart spirit was shaken. Finally, pill refining is about to begin. Qin Ming hurried to Master Su's courtyard. Upon entering the house, Master Su was already making preparations. This time I will refine a tier 1 high-grade pill, bone marrow cleansing pill. Though Qin Ming had already guessed what kind of pill Master Su was about to refine, at this moment, he couldn't help but be moved. Could it be that Master Su is going to break through to a high-grade alchemist today? That would make me the only witness. Come with me, I'll show you something good. Hee hee hee. A mysterious smile spread across Master Su's face, signaling him to follow. This smile gave Qin Ming goosebumps. Qin Ming followed Master Su. They went to the innermost room. Master Su opened the door. A surge of heat rushed towards him. Qin Ming peered inside, and the scene left him dumbfounded. In a room about 2 zhang wide stood a purple pill furnace. Next to it were various workbenches with all kinds of equipment needed for extracting medicine embryos and mixing medicines. What surprised him even more was the purple pill furnace was connected to earth fire below. The room, although small, was fully equipped. This was actually a complete alchemy room. Master Su looked at Qin Ming's astonished expression and showed a very proud expression and said, "How about it? Who would have thought that beneath the slum area, there was a hidden earth vein fire? I only discovered it by chance while passing by. This fire vein seems to be a hidden branch of the earth vein fire in Qingyang Market. I built the entire pill room on top of this earth vein, allowing me to channel earth fire for refining. And very conveniently, this is the only place in the whole slum area where the earth fire can be fully channeled." Qin Ming remained silent for a long time. Was this even possible? Earth vein fire is generally a resource held by sects. With this move, Master Su practically got it for free. No wonder, despite being a middle-grade alchemist, he stayed in the slum area for several years. However, this method of refining with earth fire is only suitable for the production of low-tier pills. When refining pills of tier 2 or above, it will require the cultivator's own true flame, or a high-tier spirit fire. Listening to Master Su's words, Qin Ming secretly clicked his tongue. For him, even tier 1 pill was considered low tier. For himself, he couldn't even produce the basic pills of an alchemy apprentice. In comparison to this alchemy setup, looking at Qin Ming's own setup, it was all junk. It wasn't just 10,000 li apart. Being successful would be a miracle. I've got to find a way to utilize Master Su's alchemy room. Qin Ming thought to himself. All right, I'm about to start. You watch from the side, just don't disturb me. Alchemy is a complex discipline. In the entire process, one cannot afford any distraction. It must be completed in one go. Even a slight fluctuation or minor operation mistake will affect the pill, greatly increasing the chances of producing waste pills. Master Su spoke with a very solemn expression. Qin Ming nodded and quietly stood to the side. Master Su opened the fire valve. Whoosh! The scorching flames erupted from the ground, and the temperature in the alchemy room suddenly soared. Then, Master Su took out various spirit herbs and materials, skillfully began extracting medicine embryos. Qin Ming held his breath, his eyes wide open, carefully observing every action and detail of Master Su. Gradually, he noticed that the way the other person extracted the medicine embryos was evidently a very sophisticated refining technique. Soon, Master Su's actions were smooth and fluid, incredibly graceful. In no time, all the medicine embryos were extracted. The quality and precision of the medicine embryos extracted by Master Su were far superior to his own, and it appeared very natural and effortless. Master Su cleared all the useless dregs from the containers. Next was the mixing of medicines. This mixing process was not merely a simple combination of medicinal ingredients. It required precise measurement of spirit medicines, allowing no margin for error. These two steps were the most time-consuming. With a casual grab, Master Su's measurements were just right, incredibly precise. Previously, Qin Ming would spend more than half a day reaching this stage, while Master Su took less than a quarter of an hour to finish all this. This is the difference. The next step was the main event. Master Su quickly formed hand signs, then gently stirred the flame. The originally fiery and raging earth fire instantly stopped flickering, immediately became extremely gentle. The red flames began to heat the pill furnace evenly. Qin Ming eagerly watched Master Su's impressive fire control technique, immediately feeling an itch in his heart that couldn't be ignored.